Cool.
All right, so welcome to session 16. So, yesterday you figured out how to open the sealed doors hidden in the tomb. Most of the party was trapped in there for a while. And as you were doing so, you heard some rocks crashing and sliding from beneath the ground. You returned to the city and visited the Nexus Guild to find out more information about your upcoming expedition. After learning of a month-long trip to one of the craters, you decided to secure a larger wagon, a second mule, and then shopped for additional supplies. You took a short rest and healed. Then you went to find the old crone Kala. After asking around, you then found her shack in a forested valley about 2 hours away through the south gate. You entered the foggy valley to find the old shack, nearby humanoid bones protruding from the dirt, and large black birds cawing and pecking at the piles of bones. Eventually, you made your way to the shack and talked to the old woman, who offered to help by creating a telepathy imbuing brew. She said she needed 3 eyeballs from large insectoid creatures in the nearby forest. You followed her directions and fought a deadly battle against large insect creatures. Oriole very nearly died. It was clear that you were all meant to die. You investigated the Ankeg eyes and determined that they had no particular use. You then returned to the crone to find her missing. Searching her place, you found alchemical recipes that made no sense, toxic brew, and many, many bones sticking from beneath her bed. Beneath the bones, you found a trap door leading into a long cave. Following the cave, you came to a whole cave complex. To the east, you found an illusory wall and found the cave system leads outside. To the west, you found the site of a cave in, likely the sound you heard while still in the tomb, and an old man had been trapped for quite some time. You freed the old man, who introduced himself as Jared, and his group came to the cave to find out if the Grey Cult is really infesting the city. He explained that the Grey Cult is a doomsday cult that believes that the Kylon invasions and and recently found dead worlds are sure signs of the end times. They believe that the destruction of all worlds has already begun, and their God has promised in prophecy that his followers will be uplifted and rewarded in the new worlds to come if they hasten along the destruction of the current world. After being asked, Jared said his group works for some of the noble houses, and they call themselves the Restorers. He has tried to work with the Tabaxi delegation, who, in his own words, were useless to find the Grey Cult. Jared told you that his allies went on ahead and have likely been captured, and there are caves to the left and right of the large underground cave lake ahead. He asked for your help to rescue his allies who are likely captured. You also found a small hidden area that was opened up in the cave in. There you found a set of underwater caverns and a man made shaft in the ceiling that is blocked off at the top. As we begin, it is Riziel 10th. It appears that Galen and Ire have been following from a distance for some time and have finally caught up. So I'm going to go ahead and move you to the map. It would help if I didn't drag the entire map, though. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and center you, and um, I think Galen and Ire are missing, so I'm going to put them on the map.
Hi, Jared.
So Galen and Ire, you've just caught up with the group who are speaking to
Hey.
Jared, and you see that Pico is up ahead, asking everybody to be
No, they don't see that
okay.
because I've be a spider on the ceiling.
Okay.
Huh?
All right. So they see that Pico is missing, and that the rest of the group seems to be in this small hidden area that was recently opened up, and you see Jared, an old man who is standing there, and seems to be waiting for something. So what does everybody do?
Well, I
Uh,
know I want to go ahead and do some scouting.
Okay. So what are you doing then?
Well, I guess given the circumstances, I guess I want to look here to the west first and see if I can spot anything of relevance.
All right, as you move to the west, you notice that there's a thickening fog in the cavern that seems to be getting more dense, and it seems to be centered at the central island. And the fog seems to muffle sound. The sound of chanting, while still present, becomes much more dim or much more soft. And as you go around the corner, you see a cultist who seems to be standing around in some sort of supply area. You see boxes and barrels, sacks, and at the end you see some sort of treasure chest. And as you crawl in, you notice that the cultist seems to be looking in your direction. However, he you're not sure why he would take notice of a particular spider.
Alrighty. Well, I am just going to keep on crawling along the wall then.
Okay. You crawl along the wall, and you can hear the chanting in the distance. You can hear the sound of the water lapping against the shore, the rocks rocking. And as you approach, you feel the hairs on your legs and tingling.
Interesting. Well, I'm going to keep moving and scouting the perimeter until I either get the whole perimeter or figure out where our hostages are.
Okay.
Whoops.
So you can see the southern wall, and from what you remember being told, there were caves. You're going. Oh, you're going.
No, I'm not moving over there on purpose. I've got that whole stupid it's like doing the auto scroll thing, so I'm still technically over by the wall.
Okay. Well, while you figure that out, let's go ahead and move back up and see what the rest of the group is doing. So, what's everybody doing?
There we go.
Oh, hey guys.
Yeah, let's move up
hey.
a little bit. I was gonna say, let's just move past Jared.
Yeah, careful going any further down. There's like a little island with a bunch of cultists, so we're trying to be a little bit on the quiet side.
Aha, I'm in.
Okay.
You have to like move your character, especially Ire, so you can dodge in. Yeah.
Okay. As you enter Galen and Ire, you see a pool of water, and you can see looking in that it seems to lead to some sort of underground or underwater caves.
Sweet.
And where Oreo is, there's a shaft, a man-made shaft in the ceiling that seems to go straight up, but it's dark at the top.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Well, going back to see what Pico is doing, you've made your rounds, and at this point in time, you see that the other insects around you seem to be going a little bit crazy. They seem to be moving erratically, and the hair on your hairs seem to be moving on their own, and you feel woozy.
Ew. Well, I'm gonna start trying to get away on the ceiling. I'm gonna work towards this passage.
You find yourself in another area with boxes and some sort of light coming from around the corner, and you hear the sound of voices softly. And as you come around, you see looks like people tied up, unconscious people tied up in the back. You see a pot of stew, and you see several cultists standing around talking amongst themselves. And as you enter, you notice that one of the cultists looks right at you.
They know who you are, man. That's so creepy.
So what do you do?
Well, just in the offbeat chance that they're just somewhat alert, I'm gonna go ahead and, I mean, since it looks like I've got a serviceable corner here, I'm just gonna go ahead and start spinning a web kind of near the ceiling, about where a spider normally would.
Okay. As you start spinning the web, two of the cultists are speaking, and then you notice that one of the cultists nods, and he points his hand in your direction.
Ooh, I'm moving. Um,
All right. Go ahead and make a dex save. As a spider.
Hold on, let me see if I can figure out how I would do that.
And while you're figuring that out, Jared seems to enters the room, and he looks, and he sees Ire, and he sees Galen, and he says, "Why now we have very interesting specimens. I have never seen people like you up close." He kind of touches your skin briefly, Galen, and then he says, "I've heard of you, of course, but I've just never had the desire. Well, I've never had the need to become in contact with you. How do you know this group?" He's speaking to you at the moment, Galen.
I don't
It
know.
sounds a little bit.
When I awoke on my world, I just started going to a church, and I ran into Ire, and I also ran into Devok, and then I met the others through them.
I see. And so, what do you think of our little world?
I like it, honestly. They're both nice.
I see. And what do you think of the Kylon?
Uh, they seem pretty bad for the most part. At least with the young ones, it's understandable that they attack because they're more animal-like. But with the older ones who are more intelligent, it seems more like they're just kind of evil.
All right.
You can subtract 1 from that roll.
Okay, so you got a 7?
Yeah.
Okay, moving back to Pico. Pico suddenly, 3 magic missiles erupt from his outstretched hand and plunge into you, doing 12 points of damage.
Wait a minute, that may not actually happen. Oh no, I'm thinking something else. It's shield that does that.
Shield makes you immune to magic missile.
Yeah. You said 12 points?
I did, yes.
All right.
That was 3 missiles hitting you in quick succession.
Ouch.
Okay, well, let's see something here first. I gotta look up that spider again.
Anyway, with the rest of the group, the Jared is nodding, and then he seems to be looking at Galen and Ire curiously, and you get the sense that this really is the first time you've seen a Shadowkind or an automaton up close.
Okay, because the way he was talking was a little bit more
Creepy.
bent
Yeah,
X.
He's creepy.
Have you ever seen a bent X there, Mr. Jared?
No, that was done wrong.
He raises an eyebrow. What is
Ever heard of the
I
phrase?
may ask, what is a bent X?
Ever heard of the phrase Heil?
Hmm.
Yes.
No, no, something for me. All right. Sorry, Jeremy, I was making a little fun there. He was sounding very racist.
Oh. Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
he
hasn't
is
seen us
old,
before.
and you know, if you get certain impressions, they may not be wrong. In the meantime, Pico, what's going on? So you took 12 damage. What happens?
All right, well, actually, no, 12. Let's see, was it 21? That's actually 10. Well, okay, well, it's definitely enough to knock me out of the spider form.
Okay, so I'm taking this means that you slam into the ground, and whatever damage spills over. And
Mhm.
at this point, they advance. So go ahead and roll initiative.
Um,
And we haven't heard anything in regards of noise.
The
Hopefully.
fog is dampening the noise, but it's not really in the fog. So I'm gonna go. What I'm gonna have everybody do is everybody make a perception check, and if anybody gets at least a 15, then you you'll hear some sort of thud as something hits the ground, and it is definitely coming from the east. Um, Basically, it's really coming if you go straight east. Like if you were to be able to go through the wall, it'd be coming from that direction.
Okay.
Oh,
A lot of 14s.
hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well,
Char,
it's fine as long as anybody heard it. They could have told everybody else, so that's fine.
Yeah, I'll
yeah.
ask if anybody heard it at some point.
Char alerts me that he heard a noise and he knows that Pico went down. And I'm gonna push very quickly through Mr. Jared here.
So what I'm going to have everybody do then is before you move, since they're already in combat, just go ahead and roll initiative, and then we'll just go through everybody. Oh wait.
Now, what gets sort of tricky here, though, is they went ahead and attacked me, and it wasn't a surprise because I'm so aware that that could be a concern. So,
Well, that's why you got a dex save, because normally with magic missile it automatically hits. There's normally with magic missile there's no roll to hit. It's just you cast magic missile and it hits. So
Yeah.
I gave you a dex save because you saw the outstretched hand, and then you started making the web, and then the missiles came out. But so
wait, no, I started making the web first. If I'd seen an outstretched hand, I wouldn't have. I'd have already started getting out of the way.
I described an outstretched hand, though.
Again.
I thought you should describe the outstretched hand as part of doing the magic missile.
I said he pointed your direction, and then they conversed together, and then he fired his missile.
Well, that's
Oh.
kind of misleading because, yeah, you said they were conversing. That didn't sound like a specific attack.
Okay. But
Well, whatever.
But that's what the save was for. Because they were conversing, and then he has.
Yeah, conversing, not casting a spell. So it sounded like, okay, here's the way I was hearing this. Like, okay, they noticed something in my direction, so I decided to start acting like a spider. And then they were conversing, and I was hoping that they were not going to pay too much attention to me. And then they decided to attack.
Right. And with magic missile, it automatically hits. But because there's obviously a gap between conversing and attacking, I gave you a save to get out of line of sight before you can finish this. Before you can finish this
Yeah.
spell.
Otherwise, it would have been no save. You would have automatically gotten hit.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I get that. I mean, that's fine. I'm just saying, though, that pointing at me and conversing doesn't sound like the initiation of an attack. So it sounded like they pointed, conversed, and then decided to shoot me. Was the way it came off. I
Yeah,
mean,
they conversed, and then it nodded, and then the guy fired his missile.
right? Okay, that's fine. But if they were starting the attack first before the conversing, that would have changed things. But anyway, regardless of the fact that they attacked those, that makes me wonder where are we actually picking up on the initiative order.
Well, they got their one attack off. That was essentially their surprise, and then so we're just going to go through normal. So however it comes out, that's the way we'll take it. You still get your turn and everything. All right. Well, let me descend. All right. So we are on round 1.
I have
And
no clue
Galen,
where to
like
go.
I said, you heard the sound coming from the
like this way, right?
yeah, coming from that way, and clearly you can't go straight to the wall. So what do you do?
Oh, I guess I just have to figure it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Do they know that
6.
we're?
Oh! Mistakes were made.
Now, what you're able to tell is that there's chanting going on in the island, and the fog seems to be dampening the sound, and they are still continuing. The group on the island hasn't changed what they're doing.
Oh God. Let me do a thing really quick. I have ceremony as a religious specialization. Do I recognize what they're doing?
They are communing with some sort of dark spirit who
Oh
they probably
fuck.
believe to be their god.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah. Typically, if you let these complete, it leads to bad things, and if you interrupt them, it leads to bad things. So I don't
But
know. This
right
isn't where
now, they
he is
aren't
though.
paying
Do I
it.
see?
They don't seem
Do
to
I
know
see?
you're there. And
Yeah.
obviously, if you attack them, they will know you're there.
So do I think that the sounds I heard earlier were coming more from this way?
Yeah, it's probably it was basically a straight line through the wall, but you suspect that if it's down this direction, it would be this way. Sorry, it'd be this way.
Okay, so I probably don't want to bother them just yet because Pico's probably farther up this way. All right, cool. Then I will not shoot them. I'll just try and like remain, I guess, a little bit hidden behind this stalagmite, whatever it is.
Fair enough.
I
Like I
don't know whether
said,
it's
the
coming from the
fog
ceiling or
does seem to
not.
be dampening the sounds coming from that direction, and they're definitely not looking your direction. They all seem to be looking at whatever's in the center. So you
Yeah, the
get the
center, they're
impression that
seeing that horrible thing.
go and get their
Oh,
attention,
God.
that you're probably fine.
Actually, further thing. Hold on. Let me see if I have it. Oh, I don't. Never mind. I thought I knew Abyssal, but I just know Celestial. I was wondering if I knew what they were saying,
Okay.
but
Uh,
I probably don't.
So what else are you gonna do on your turn?
I think that's pretty much it, right? Unless I do a sprint, I can move double my
You
action,
can,
right?
yeah. You can do a dash on your action if you want to get there faster.
Oh, yeah, I think I will. So I'll go another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know where he is. Oh, he's off this way. Okay, cool. That'll be good for my turn then.
Fair enough. All right, Ire, you saw Galen taking off, presumably in the direction of the sound. So what are you gonna do?
We'll chase after him. So, sprint. Sprint gives you twice your movement, right?
Yeah. So
Mhm.
basically, you're just moving again as an action.
Right.
Hey, how's it
Hey,
going?
you know,
Do you understand Abyssal?
I know Draconic.
Okay. Close. Oh well. Because I really want to know what they're doing and what god they're talking to.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Ire's at the end of your turn.
Yes.
All right, Oreo. Likewise, you've seen everybody taking off toward the sound. So what are you gonna do?
I'll follow. I'm just gonna 20. They go. Considering that I'm literally following them, they went south, right? Because I didn't actually see where.
Yes, they went south.
Okay, so that's 30, and then
And they went this way.
okay. I'm going to actually hold an action. I'm gonna hold my bow and arrow. In the instance that any of those cultists try and attack any of the allies that are currently in there, then I'm gonna shoot at them.
Okay.
And that'll be it. I'll use. I mean, I don't know if I'm considered hidden, but if not, then I'll use my bonus action to hide.
Okay, go ahead and make a stealth check. Cool. All right.
And that's it.
Cool. All right. So going back to where Pico is, one of the cultists steps around the pot of boiling stew or whatever it is, and at that point in time,
Well, I guess what I don't understand is why is it a surprise action if I saw them attacking me?
all right. Well, my understanding is you weren't expecting them to attack. He had his hand outstretched, and he used his action to cast a spell, and then you got a save to get out of the way. So I'm failing to understand what part of that is the issue.
Well, I guess I was watching them to see what they were doing.
And you
And
saw them pointing at you, and you saw them conversing, obviously knowing something about you, and then you specifically said you're going to stay and make a web, and then they attacked. Are you saying that you should have gotten? Well, I'm not sure what else with the magic missile, since it hits you. You know, you already had that save there, so I'm not sure what else I could have done. I guess I could have given you a free round or something, but they just attacked.
all right, sure, whatever.
All right. Well, I don't want everybody to be upset. So what is it you think should have happened at that point?
I'll worry about it later.
Okay. Alrighty. So in that case, since he's going to throw his dagger, which will hit the wall uselessly, unfortunately for him. And Ragu, you've seen everybody running toward the sound of battle. So what are you going to do?
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and move on in myself. Would have gotten to about there, 60 feet. Okay, and now me is 6. It put me there. And do I see what's actually going on?
Unfortunately, you don't. However, you do see light coming from a tunnel in this direction.
Okay. In that case, I will go ahead and take kind of a dash action. This will give me another 1, 2, 3, 6. And that should be good. I don't have an attack to make, and I don't know where Pico is.
Are you going to move Char further, or is he going to stay where he is?
Oh, can he take a dash too?
Of course.
Awesome. 1 second. Just be easier. 60 feet, so right about there. Cool. Actually, less than 60 feet. He should stay a little closer to me. Okay.
All right. Is that then your turn?
Yeah.
All right, Davak, you've seen everybody running off toward the sound. So what are you going to do?
I will do the same. And that's my turn.
All right.
All right.
Pico, you are currently on the ground. You see the cultist who cast a spell at you and attempt to throw a knife at you, which missed. So what are you gonna do?
All right. Well, throwing the rudest gesture I can think of on my way out, I start dashing the hell out of here.
Okay.
And let's see, what do I want to do? Well, actually, hold on. What are these cultists over here doing?
The cultists in the center are they continue to chant, and they all seem to be facing toward whatever that darkness is in the center. The fog seems to be dampening the sound and making it harder to see. So their chanting is difficult to make out, but you know it's there.
What the heck? One. Actually.
And you do also notice that they haven't reacted to the sound of combat.
All right. Well, I'm going to hold up 3 fingers and point over my shoulder. I'm going to hold up 1 finger, point way over their shoulders. And I am going to go ahead and using feline agility, get myself, well, as hidden as I can get behind this rock.
Okay. Is that the end of your turn?
Nope, because I probably should be using an action for something.
Okay.
And that action will probably be to heal myself. Let's see. Still got 3 level 2 slots. And what the heck does Cure Wounds do? D8 plus my spellcasting ability modifier. Now, what the heck? My rolls usually suck. I'll go ahead and burn a level 2 slot on this. All right. How do I roll this? Is there a? There it is. Okay. I think that's. Is that going to let me upcast it? It probably isn't. I'm going to go ahead and see what happens if I click on it. Oh, it will. Cool. To submit.
Okay, so that looks like 11 points.
11. Yep, and that is exactly why I decided to upcast it.
Okay.
That 4 points would have been really lame.
Yep, that's at the end of your turn.
Yes.
All right. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And okay. And then I guess I'll just move in there. All right. Beginning of round 2. So Galen, you in the distance, or you saw Pico run out of the cave and then get behind this large stalactite. You no longer see him. So what are you going to do? You saw his gestures as well.
3 fingers pointing to the opening near me.
Yep.
And then 1 finger pointing way past you guys.
I don't know if I actually would have seen him because I go dark around here.
Down this direction, way past you. You mean for us?
Yeah, basically point past the party.
Well,
I
I
see what you're
wanna.
saying. Yeah, it.
Although, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So you probably didn't see the gestures. You probably did see the movement though.
I was closer. I saw the gestures were good though.
Okay,
If I say something.
got it. I guess I'll just start moving in this way. 1, 2.
Or I guess to put it another way, just to be sure, before you move, could you see me where I'm standing right now?
Yes, I can see you.
Okay, then you should have seen my gestures.
Okay, got
Might
it.
not have
Got it.
seen me disappear into the darkness, but yeah, this is where I would have been standing when I did my gesturing.
Okay, cool. Let me
All right,
start
go
heading
ahead.
in. I don't
What
know
kind of
if I
ground
want
do we
to.
have in here, given
I
that
don't know if I
there?
want to sprint. I
It
think that's
seems to be stone. Um, yeah, it's the floor and wall seem to be stone, and you don't see hardly any plants outside of some mushrooms. So clearly there must be spots that are looser, but it's pretty rare. Anyway,
I
Galen,
for
what were you saying?
I forget. Did we rest last session
You
before
did.
we came through the
Yes.
portal? So I have my spell slots back, right?
Yes. You had one long rest.
Okay, cool. Cool. Okay. I think it's safe to sprint again. I'll go here. Let me turn on my torch. Actually, I'm gonna use a torch.
Fair enough.
Okay, so I'm right there. I guess that's where I'm ending. Maybe I want to end here instead.
That's
I
fine.
don't know. Something that cuts away line of sight with that cultist that I saw there.
Fair enough. Is that the end of your turn?
Okay, yeah, that's the end of my turn. Let me mark off a torch.
Cool. So, Ire, you saw Galen running down. You possibly saw Pico and his gestures. So, what are you going to do?
Well, let's see if I have to sprint. 1, 2. Yep, I'll sprint. Hey.
What's good?
All right, that's my turn.
All right. Oreo, you see, the group has run past you. Galen has gotten fairly close to where you are, because unfortunately, the way you're hiding behind debris. But from his point of view, he can still see you. So what are you gonna do?
Galen can see me.
Not Galen. I meant Jared,
Um,
the guy behind you.
yeah. I'm just checking distance. Hold on. I will get up to here and then just kind of crouch by the boat and ready again an arrow. So the first thing I see that's not an ally coming out from that general direction will get shot.
Okay, fair enough. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can you see that cultist from where you are, Oreo?
Yep.
In that case, take your shot. You have disadvantage though because of the fog and darkness.
Considering it doesn't even expect this coming, wouldn't that also be advantage? So it'd be a straight roll.
Yeah, that's a good point. So just go ahead and make a straight attack then. All right, that's a hit.
I'm gonna use sneak attack on that too, just because I get this advantage. As long as I get advantage, I believe I can roll off the sneak attack.
That's correct.
So that plus
So
that.
18 points of damage. What a hit. So he staggers. Galen, you see suddenly out of nowhere the great cultist that just ran out of the cave staggers as this arrow materializes in his chest.
Sweet.
All right, Oreo, is that the end of your turn?
Yeah.
All right, Ragu, you saw an arrow go past you, and you can see the group ahead of you. What are you going to do?
Let me see. I'm going to. Crap. Fly Char over here. Come on, move it. Move. Slight lag. There we go. Now we're moving. Okay. He's going to fly over here to give the help action, and then fly over here to get out of the way.
Okay.
I am going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Crap. If I dash, I cannot attack, correct?
That's right, because dash takes an action.
Okay.
However, since your char did disrupt the guy, the next attacker can take advantage of that to get advantage.
Yes. It's the next person who attacks him.
Yep.
So I will move here. That's my 5 out of 6.
Okay, is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, it has to be.
Fair enough. All right, Devok, you see the group heading down there. You can hear combat starting. Oreo just shot an arrow. What are you gonna do?
I'll move. I'll move again. And that'll be my turn.
Fair enough. All right, Pico, you can see the cultists came out and then got shot suddenly from the distance. What are you gonna do? Oh, by the way, you are hidden, and he is distracted from the arrow, so you get advantage on your first attack. Oh, actually, you would anyway because of Char. So I guess in that case, you get advantage on both your attacks. Assuming you do that.
All right, that doesn't apply to just the first attack that
Both
happens
attacks.
in general.
Well, you get basically what I'm saying is that due to the combination of you getting surprised, the sudden large attack from the arrow, and the bird flying in your face, that he's I'm going to give you two advantage for both your attacks because of the kind of condition he's in right now. It's only temporary, but it's just because he's off balance. But that's assuming you use both your attacks, obviously.
Alrighty, well, let's see. Alright, well, I guess I'll skulk up behind this guy and, hello, can I interest you in?
And that is a hit. All right, so a good solid 6 points in your first hit. He's hurting badly. And you can roll again to see if you crit.
In these nice Jinsu cutting knives.
Okay. All right, another 3 points.
And I am retreating to my original spot.
All right, cool. Is that the end of your turn?
Yep, that'll do it.
All righty. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, another cultist arrives, and he casts a spell. In this case, spiritual weapon. Where is it? Sorry, I'm looking for my my little object. Sorry, gem. I had a little object for it, but I can't find it, so I'm just going to place something else down for now. Anyway, he casts spiritual weapon. It happens to be next to Ragu. And then the spiritual weapon will, of course, do its thing. As a bonus action, he makes an attack. Does a 21 hit Ragu?
Yes, it will.
All right. So let me go ahead and roll damage. All right, you take 6 force damage as something that looks like a large black dagger slices you. All right, Cultist 2 steps forward, and he also casts a spiritual weapon. which will actually I should step forward again so we can see. And this spiritual weapon will be next to Galen. And this, on his bonus action, he makes the spiritual weapon attack Galen. But with 11, it fails to hit. Alright, beginning of round 3. Galen, you see the cultists are coming out now. The one at the mouth of the cave is badly hurt, surprised, and brutalized.
Mhm.
But the other two have started casting spells in order to make their attacks better. So what are you going to do?
I'm going to shoot some fire at 2 because he's the one with low health, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna
Or
just
actually,
shoot some fire.
it's one with low health, but I know which one you meant.
Oh, okay, then yes, cultist 1. Sorry about that.
Yep,
I
no
want to
problem.
shoot the one with low health. I'll just shoot a normal firebolt. Nothing special.
Okay. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
he
that's
is low health and gets out of the way quickly.
that's unfortunate. Okay, I'm gonna back up to like here.
Fair enough. Is that the end of your turn?
That will be the end of my turn, yes.
All right, Ire, you see the group of cultists. The one right here seems to be badly hurt. What are you going to do?
All right. I'll. Am I able to occupy the same space as a spiritual weapon?
Yeah, I'm going to say that's fine because
Okay.
they're fairly small.
All right. Yeah. I'll run in with this guy then. And okay, what is this? Cultist 1. Hit with the flail.
Okay,
Eh,
and that's a hit. And that is enough to beat him to the ground. Is that the end of your turn?
I'm gonna move up here. Right in the middle of it.
All right,
That's
fair
fine.
enough. All right, Oreo, from way back where you are, you see, you can probably see Cultist 3 has come out. Cultist 1 has been killed. So what are you going to do?
I just moved up 25 feet so I can be in visibility of Cultist 3, and I'm gonna shoot an arrow.
Fair enough. You shoot, but hit the stalactite instead.
And that's it.
Fair enough. All right, Ragu, you have the spiritual weapons around you, and Cultist 1 is dead. What are you going to do?
Char's gonna make a loop around the stalactite, flying over here to flutter in Cultist 3's face, and then come back around here to be safe by Pico. As that happens, step forward and go ahead and give a big ol' hack on Cultist 3.
All right. All right, that's a hit. That is a 19, correct? Because you
Correct,
have
because
advantage. All right.
yeah, char advantage. So that's a 10.
A solid 10 points of damage.
And follow up on my bonus.
Critical hit. You must be mad at
Knock.
these guys.
To threaten Pico, will you? I will smash you.
All right, another 10 points. So a total of 20 points of damage. Really good damage. Is that the end of your turn?
That is.
All right, Devok, you can see that Ragu is doing a number on Cultist 3, although you can already tell that Cultist 3 is tougher than Cultist 1 was. So what are you going to do?
Move a bit, and then I'll go ahead and use this again. I'll spend my second spot.
Okay.
We'll use it to attack him.
Yep.
It was 1d20 plus 6, I think, right? Yeah.
If your 6 is your spell bonus. That's a hit. And you're attacking Cultist 3 over here?
Yeah. He takes 1 damage.
Well,
Won't shoot him with it. Okay. He takes 1 damage. That's my turn.
well, that's something. All right, Pico, you can see that there are more cultists. The Cultist 1 is dead. What are you going to do?
Hmm. All right. Well, actually, yeah, there we go. Oh, geez. Well, I guess Cultist 2 is still technically around the corner. I'll move to this spot to get advantage on Cultist
3.
3.
Okay.
And I'm going to go ahead and shank the hell out of this guy. Or at least try to.
That hits. And that hits as well. So it looks like a total of 8 points of damage. So good hit, but he's hanging in there somehow at about half health.
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and retreat back to my little hidey hole.
All right. So Cultist 3 will then move his spiritual weapon to attack as his bonus action. Oops. A wrong one. Ignore that one. Unfortunately, the spiritual weapon has no effect on Ragu's armor. And then as his action, he is going to cast... Alright, as his action, he says, "Kneel before me and supplicate." Go ahead and make a DC 13 Wisdom saving throw, Ragu. And as he does this, you see this dark energy coming off of him.
I'm notoriously good at wisdom. All right.
Hey, somebody's finally using it too.
Okay, you ignore his command. Cultist 2 is going to have his spiritual weapon attack Ire as his bonus action. With a 14, that fails miserably. And then to Ire, he says, "You will run away." All right, DC 13 Wisdom save, Ire.
Uh-oh.
And so on your next turn, you will need to run away. All right, we're at the beginning of round 4. Galen, you see that Ire, something is now affecting him, and you can see him starting to run. What are you
That's
gonna
not
do?
good. That's quite bad. Let's kill Cultist 3. Firebolt. His
Okay.
direction.
Go for it. That hits.
Better. Much better.
7 points
There
of
we go.
damage. Solid hit, but he's still alive.
They've got decent health.
Like I said, he is tougher than the other one.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just want to start working on him. I think that's probably it. Maybe I'll try and... No, that seems like a mistake. Never mind.
Okay.
I'll yell, like, stand strong, Ire, or something like that. I'll try to say something, but I know he's probably just going to keep running.
Ire, you ignore Galen's weak attempts to break the spell, and you run away. But you get to choose which way you run as long as it's away from the cultist.
Okay. Which one was it? 3 or 2?
It was 2.
Okay.
And of course, the both cultists nearby will get opportunity attacks, which is part of what he was thinking, most likely.
Yeah. Do I have to use my full movement?
You do have to use your full movement, but you did not have to dash. So I'm going to go ahead and have them stab you with their daggers.
Yep.
Neither hit. Go ahead and do your movement. Oreo, you see Ire running away. What are you going to do?
Look confused, but then I'll go ahead and move and then shoot at number 3.
Okay. That hits.
Okay, so
Solid 10 points of damage, plus the 19. Oh, wow. So that's enough to kill him. He falls to the ground dead. Is that the end of your turn?
and yep, that's it.
All right, Ragu, Ire just ran away past you. Oreo just killed the cultist that was in front of you. So what are you going to do? Ragu.
Sorry, here I am. I'm trying to refresh. My screen's a little stuck. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Cultist 3 is gone. Cultist 2 is the only one left right there.
Yes.
All right. Char's gonna fly over here
Oh, that
in
means
his
that's
face,
gone.
and then kind of come back around the side, right past Pico again.
Okay.
And I am going to move on up and hack and slash. Grrr. Worm. Oh wait. 13 and 25. 25.
Yeah, that obviously hits.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I should have had advantage on
Yeah,
that.
no problem. It's not a big deal.
All right.
Alright.
7 points.
Solid 7 points of damage, which definitely hurts him.
And to follow up with Burst Knuckles.
Another hit. And 8 points of damage. So definitely a lot of damage, but he's still at slightly more than half health. Is that the end of your turn?
That is.
All right, Devok, you saw Ire run away. You saw Ragu engage the enemy. What are you going to do?
I'll move this way. Then I'll move my thing over and hit him again.
Okay, go for it. That's a hit.
And 7
Okay,
damage.
7 points. Good damage.
And then I will shoot him with an Eldritch Blast.
That one does not.
And that's my turn.
From fighting them at this point in time, you now know that their AC is 13.
Okay.
All right, Pico. There's only one left that you can see that Ragu is currently engaged with. Ayers ran away. So what are you going to do?
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and run right out and get in this guy's face. And I'm going to tell him that he should have stayed in school. All right. And I am going to go ahead and shank him.
The second one misses. The critical hit obviously hits. So 11 points of damage. He's almost dead, but just hanging on.
Now I'm going to leverage this into a somersault over the guy. That's the tumbling roll.
Okay, so that's a success.
And I am going to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I am going to flee past him on my way to go start rescuing the prisoners.
All right, fair enough. All right, Cultist 2. The first thing he's going to do is have his spiritual weapon attack as his bonus action, which fails miserably. And the next thing he is going to do is going to try to command you. He says, "You will flee immediately."
Oh, not. Oh, and I don't.
Yep. All right, so we're on round 5. Galen, you see that the cultist is almost dead, so what are you going to do?
Yeah, I'm just gonna move in a little closer next to Devok again, and I'm gonna shoot some more fire at him.
All right, go for it. That's a hit.
Sweet.
All right,
Ugh,
3
that's
points.
annoying.
He's still alive.
That's annoying.
Is that the end of your turn?
Yep.
All right, Ire, the guy's still alive, so technically you're under his command, unless you can make a wisdom saving throw.
Ooh.
Which you do. So you no longer have the urge to run. So what are you going to do?
Run back in. Oh, and hit him from around the corner.
Sure. And that's a hit.
Probably do that to let you get in there.
And you smash his head in, and he collapses to the ground. So at this point in time, I am going to take you out of combat. Assuming this cooperates.
Not my revenge.
And so at this point in time, you can you can see into the tunnel. You can see that Pico is already inside.
I waste no time trying to undo the prisoners. Are they just tied up, or do they
Yeah,
have...
they're tied up and they are currently unconscious.
All right, well, start untying them all.
Okay.
I want to keep an eye out at the cultists in the center and just keep my bow ready in case of anything.
You do so.
I
The
I
darkness. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. Describe.
The darkness in the center seems to have grown, and the fog has grown thicker, and the entire group still seems to be distracted. Go ahead, Ragu.
I run over to Gale and I said, "Get out your wand. I think we're going to need to hit them. You don't want them to
Oh.
finish whatever they're doing."
Yeah, so I actually had a plan for this. Instead of fireballing them, which is a very good option, I completely support this. I could also just sleep them as a level 2, and maybe that would break the spell more peacefully
As you're
than just
talking,
blowing up
Galen,
the center.
or sorry, Jared walks up, interrupting you, and he says,
Oh, okay. What's up, Jared?
"You see, when they are in this state, they gain a great amount of power. My group, though, we have a plan. Now that we know they're
Okay.
here, we have others that are watching the entrance to the cave, and so our plan is to watch over them and follow them back into the city and figure out who they really are. So I suggest
Can we not do that by identifying the dead bodies?
perhaps, but with this power, I am skeptical of any of you being able to take them out. And if you do not take them all out, then some may escape, and we may never find them. I would rather let them. I would rather follow this group back because the people here, he gestures at the dead bodies that you guys have just recently created. He says, these are obviously the peons. They are left on guard duty. They're not important, obviously. But that group, we want to catch all of them. So I suggest that we rescue my fellows, and once that is complete, that you will allow us to follow through with our plans. However, we may need your help in the future, more help in the future, but we can discuss that once we leave this place. In the
That's a
meantime,
very excellent point, old man. But fireballs them now. Galen, you take out the boats with fire spell. I will destroy the rest with necrotic blast. We go.
No. I don't know.
you see
Siva,
that Jared.
you blast as well with your ranging weapons.
You see, Jared looks worried, and he says, I don't think you understand the power of that is on display here."
Yeah.
Yes,
I
you
agree.
squish it before it gets stronger. That is how you deal with it.
I don't know. I don't think we understand the power of the dark side. I think we should probably just head out.
In the meantime, Pico and Ire, you two free the prisoners, and once you free them and ungag them and everything, you notice that one of them starts coming to, and he looks up and he says, "Boss." And then below, you hear Jared say, "Oh, one moment," and then he starts heading in. So what do you do, Pico?
It's like, no, I'm just your friendly neighborhood kitty cat.
And then he focuses on you, and he says, "Are you the one I have to thank for rescuing us?"
Maybe one of many.
No, it's just him.
Okay.
He's being modest.
Well, that is good. Have you seen the boss?
Oh, I think he's right there, but you guys aren't out of danger yet. Can you help me wake the others up?
All right. So yeah, he helps wake up the others, and they all slowly come to, and you see the man here. He says, "Well, my name is Zurak. I'm pleased to meet you. Thank you for rescuing us.
Like I said, you haven't been rescued yet. There's still a whole bunch of cultists out there we got to get you past.
Oh, yes. And Jared walks up. Yes, let us hurry while they are still busy, while the fog hides our movements. So, what do you guys do?
What's up with these boxes over here?
You see some currently closed boxes. It looks like they're not locked or anything, but they're definitely closed.
Gonna open it. You guys missing some supplies?
And at this point in time, you see these guys come up. It's like, oh yes, and they start going through, and you see there's some weapons and basic armor and various sacks, and they put all that stuff on. And he says, "Thank you very much for being so honorable. May I have your name? I believe you're a Tabaxi, correct?"
Sort of.
All right. Well, nice to meet you, Mr. Tabaxi.
Hmm.
All right.
Pleasure's all mine, I'm sure. What's up with these barrels?
So you see some water barrels. One of them has wine. One of them has mead or ale, and the others are water barrels.
Whatever. All right. Well, I guess I'm inclined to believe Jared as far as the danger of those cultists, but there is another one off by himself that we might want to take care of, considering it looked like he might be guarding some useful stuff.
And then Zarak looks and says, "Yes, you did rescue us. So I'll let you on. There's actually two.
We still haven't rescued you yet, but sure.
Anyway, there are two things you might find interesting. The first is that when we were being captured, I saw one of them with a wand of some sort, taking it into the other cave to where they hold supplies. And the second thing that you might find interesting is that while researching this place, we discovered an old passage talking about a hidden dwarven shrine that's supposed to be here somewhere. So I thought you might find those interesting. So anyway, Jared says, come on, we need to leave."
Oh, now he's in a hurry. Oh, actually, I am going to glance down this little trash hole real quick.
Okay.
Oh, whoa.
What?
I just forgot these guys existed over here.
The big cultist group.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Stay
you go make a search, and due to your high passive perception, you notice something metallic in the back underneath the broken barrel.
All right, I'll take a look, see what it is.
And inside, you see some coins that look like they were accidentally discarded with the trash. And if you gather them up, you find a total of 10 silver and 5 copper.
All right. Boy, I am just rolling in the cash now.
Something
Should be
tells
able
me
to afford to buy
Galen's
my
not.
own ale.
Yeah. Something tells me Gale is not overly thrilled with Rasiri being an old soldier.
Wait, what?
I just said something tells me that Galen is not overly thrilled with Rasiri being an old soldier.
Oh. All right. Oh, dang it. Oh, okay, that's
All right,
why.
so Ire, you've gone down to the south, and at this point in time, I think I'm going to have you make a stealth check.
Uh-oh.
You're going through, and nothing much happens except that you see one of the cultists toward the outer edge, kind of glance back, or glance kind of down this direction. So do you continue?
No.
Our cover is blown. Fireballs him now.
And after he kind of glances around in that area where you just were, and then goes back to the ceremony.
Maybe someone a little sneakier should go over there.
All right. So Jared is kind of pressing on, and the group is trying to press on as well. What is the rest of the group doing?
Yeah, I'm standing here and I am gesturing this way, or I am gesturing over my shoulder, holding up one finger and pointing behind me slightly to the north.
And
What?
as you do so, Jared kind of goes back into the hallway and he says, when you're finished, we have a bit more to discuss. So please come back here when you're done with whatever you're doing here.
Sure, we'll
Hey,
grab a
whoa,
hold of
whoa,
the
whoa,
name
whoa,
of the
whoa!
chair while we're at it.
Careful, guys. There's something going on down here.
What do you mean, other than the big cult? Oh, you mean down that? Yeah, that's what I'm gesturing about.
Oh, okay.
That's why I'm here. We're gonna go kill off somebody else.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm kind of mad at this guy too, now that I know what he was probably going to do.
Thinking back, probably, yes.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and rush in, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And yep, I'm gonna go ahead and have everybody roll initiative, but Pico definitely has a surprise, and we'll see who else has a surprise after that. Oh, jeez. Not that you guys need it.
Oh, I guess I forgot to roll initiative.
Oh, okay.
But you still get your first attack because you ran in there. So this is basically your surprise attack. So go ahead, Pico.
All right. And I'm going to go ahead and just yell, "Hello, it's your favorite friendly neighborhood spider cat."
He looks up just as you hit him.
All right. Well, attempt to hit him. There we go. At least one
All right,
hit.
he dodges the first. Actually, you have advantage because it is a surprise attack. So go ahead and re-roll that, or roll again on that 11.
I'll take that.
Okay, so you did hit that first time. All right, so good 6. So you definitely hit him twice, and he. Okay, and what are you doing with that tumbling?
I am doing the same maneuver I did last time to the other cultist, so that I am now behind him.
Okay, that works. All right, Oreo, Pico just ran in there, got a quick sneak attack off, and then disappeared as he jumped over the guy's head. So what are you going to do?
I can currently see that particular cultist he's behind of because it doesn't expect me from where I'm at. Would I be having advantage on this roll?
That's sneak attack, pretty much.
No. Ignoring sneak attack right now. I'm just asking if because of the situation I'm currently in, where he is not expecting some arrow flying in its face right now, if it's considered an advantage.
Yeah,
for the
he just got
attacker.
attacked from Pico up close, and yeah, he probably notices you guys, but yeah, he probably doesn't expect an arrow. So yeah, you can take advantage.
Okay.
I guess it depends on how far the cultist can actually see.
All right, that is a hit.
So that plus sneak attack, obviously. There,
Yep. So that's a good 14. A good hit.
And that's it.
Fair enough. All right, Ragu, what are you gonna do?
I'm using my full run. 6 puts me right. Move. There. 6 puts me right there. Char's gonna fly in just to help,
There you go.
but he doesn't have to give the help action just yet.
Fair enough.
And I will take my advantage and hack away.
Fair enough. That hits. Really good hit there with the 12.
And my follow up.
And the 13 does hit because their AC is exactly 13.
So just barely a glancing clunk.
Yep, but it's still a solid hit. And he's almost dead already.
Right. Arrgh.
Is that the end of your turn?
That most certainly is.
All right, Galen, you can tell from the sound that battle's been engaged. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I'm just gonna move to here. I'm gonna go for the long shot on him.
Okay.
All right. Firebolt. One more time. Nope. Damn it.
He is still in surprise, so you still have advantage. So go ahead and roll again.
Oh, okay. I'll roll one more time. Hey, even better.
Fair enough. All right, Pico. Now it's your actual turn in combat. So go ahead.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and move over to this position here.
Yep, you have advantage.
All right.
Yeah, I probably should have moved right here. I didn't see exactly where you were until after I got up there.
That's fine. This works. Go ahead.
And let me guess, you're the sort of cultist who wouldn't harm a fly. Shank and shank.
All right, they hit,
Nice.
but you
Yeah,
did
not
not kill him. Almost though. He's definitely badly hurt. Is that the end of your turn?
Yep, that's it.
All right, Davak, you can tell from the sounds of pain that the cultist in there is not having a good time. What are you going to do?
I will join the party and shoot him.
Okay. That hits.
Nice. 9.
And you blast him to death. And that is the end of combat. And your characters have no way of knowing this, but you get the feeling from the ether that he was going to summon creatures, but you killed him before he got a chance.
Awful.
All right,
Crazy.
Pico, you see sacks, you see digging supplies and lanterns and pots. Oreo, you see boxes and barrels.
Oh, come on. We all know Oreo's eyes are drawing immediately to this chest
And
here.
you do see a treasure chest in the back.
Mm,
Actually, if you hadn't said that, I wouldn't have known. So, okay, thanks. Cool. Mine.
Anyway, the treasure chest is locked,
Cool.
but it looks like a modest lock.
Ooh.
Not modest enough, though, because as you go to pick it, you find that it's definitely tougher than you expected, and you're unable to open it.
Could someone be helping me, maybe? Don't you
Sure,
have thieves' tools?
Uh,
I
yeah, Pico.
I can help.
okay. Go ahead and roll
So
again then.
can thank you.
All right, this time it works. It clicks, and it is now unlocked. So you open it up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you open it up, and you see a fairly plain-looking wand. You see 2 potions of healing. You see a pouch with coins, and you see a slightly curved, very fine-looking dagger.
Can you guys do detect magic first, just to be sure before I touch anything?
Yeah, give me a minute. Take me 10 minutes to summon up my detect magic. And what do I see glowing?
So the wand is glowing, the 2 potions are glowing, and the dagger is glowing.
Okay. I think I should be grabbing the dagger, the wand, and the potions are of obvious healing, but the sack of money is fine. I shall identify the other things in a bit if we're not getting overrun by that group on the island right now.
I'll go ahead and hold on to the sack then.
Okay, and I will paste what you find in the sack.
Thank you.
All right. And you already know that you have 2 potions of healing, regular healing. You have a wand. You don't know what it is yet, but you know it's a wand. And some sort of ceremonial dagger that you know has some sort of magic property. All right, so what are you guys going to do from here?
I guess we can check the bags and.
Okay. Yeah, so you check the bags and you see there's some rocks. It looks like there's signs that there's been some digging going on. So it's mostly rocks. You see maybe a few pieces that might be ore, but it doesn't look like it is very pure. But yeah, otherwise that's about it. If anybody wants a pickaxe or a shovel or a empty lantern, you'll be able to find that there. And going south, you go through the boxes and barrels. The barrels contain more wine and water. The boxes contain more tools and a bit of food.
All right, I guess we can ignore that. Well, I think I'm inclined to believe Jared about these cultists. If we're going to try and interfere with them anyway, we probably want to make sure we're. Actually, no, he did mention about the Dwarven Shrine. Maybe we should find that.
Might be a good idea.
But I'm inclined to
Come
trust
back out.
him as far as not being able to take on these cultists. And if we try to do something prematurely, we may not have an opportunity to explore.
Are you sure? I was about to ask Galen to fireballs him again.
No.
You didn't hear that part. We were discussing way back in the cave by the
Okay, alright, yeah, sure.
Are
We're
you
going
sure,
to try
Tico?
that
I
as
was about
the
to.
last thing we do. So I think we're better off trying to finish our exploring first. There wasn't anything of note to the south, as I recall. So I suspect that the Dwarven Shrine is going to be in that room with the water.
Righty, leave us go then.
But the thing with the water, though, I mean, I would have taken the time to explain to the whole group about the whole piranha potential situation on the other side.
Oh yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and move Char up just so it's easier.
Oh yeah, I can see him. I've been moving him.
All right, fair enough. So,
I was literally in the middle of moving him when you grabbed him.
oh, sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
Pico, when you get back in the room with Jared, because they seem to all kind of congregate in that kind of more hidden room, and he says, I've been hearing from one of my allies here. There's something else that may be a problem for us. Go ahead and tell him. Tell him, Zerak says. Yeah, I heard the cultists talking, and I also saw an old woman, of all things, and basically there apparently has been some sort of pawn, at least that's what they called her when she left, that's been gathering souls for years, souls that feed the dark rites of these accursed cultists. Apparently, this pawn, a woman, when she entered the cave, it seemed like she was fleeing from something. And then apparently she left, although the cultists were saying it's to resume her work, possibly even to go home. But what I've heard is that they were saying that she's been granted some sort of awful power. So yeah, I was just thinking at some point we'll need to find her. 'Cause I have never seen this woman before. And Jared stops him. They have heard enough. But yes, there's this woman who they've been apparently using to.
I think we've met her before.
I was gonna say this woman. Did she look like? Yeah.
Go ahead, Ragu.
I was gonna say this woman. Did she look like this? And explain it to them. Explain exactly what she looks like. Is
And you
this
see
the woman?
Zurak nodding. It's like, yeah, exactly.
I have never met her before in my life, but yeah, we would take her out.
Jared says,
Okay.
okay, well, if you can deal with her, that would be a benefit to everyone, because apparently, slowly over the years, she's been gathering souls, and she's been working with this cult, from what my ally here is saying.
All for stupid bug eyeballs. Not happy.
Yeah, it sounds like she was probably collecting those souls by basically sending people to their dooms to fight some very eggheads.
Well, what I've heard, she's probably at home, but she has been granted some power, and if you've met her before, I suspect she's waiting for you.
Well, I guess on the plus side is we don't have to
I
come in the
suspect.
front door.
I suspect she was fleeing because she saw us coming and realized we were not dead.
Maybe, or maybe she had some way of knowing that her creatures died. It's hard to say.
Yeah, well, we were supposed to be the most recent additions to our soul collection, I suppose.
Wow, well, I'm glad you survived. If you hadn't survived, I don't think I would have either.
Jeremy, you had
Well,
said that in this spot here, directly above, there was an open shaft, like a hole, but it's dark on the other side, so we can't really see the other end of it, right?
That's right. It seems to be man-made, just straight sides and all that, and it goes straight up.
I think that might be our way out rather than the actual water then. I let everybody else know.
Wait, way out?
A way out. I don't know, because like the water on the other side, there's a bunch of animals that want to eat you alive down there. So unless you really want to go in there first, I don't think this is a way to leave if
Oh,
Warrior
no,
puddle.
this wasn't an exit. We could, I mean, as far as I understand, we can just go out the regular mine to the east and leave, or we can go back to the west and come back up in the Hag basement. I mean, I got the impression. Actually, you were mentioning the Dwarven Shrine. Was that supposed to be, you said that was hidden in these caves or somewhere else?
It's hidden in somewhere in this cave network. We unfortunately the records weren't clear, and they're old, so who knows? But yeah, somewhere in these caves.
That's what I was wondering might be under the water, although I guess it doesn't make sense for dwarves to be doing that. So,
Well, it
perhaps
was
it is.
ancient, so I could imagine the water was. It's possible the water wasn't always there.
How big is that square above us? That big? Is it big enough for, say, Char to fly up?
Oh yeah, it's probably about 4 feet on each side. Plus,
I can.
it's pretty tall, but yeah, it's big enough that you guys could fit in it pretty easily if you could somehow climb it.
If over here is the area where the cave-in happened, and we heard that in the shrine underneath the grave, then this here should come up somewhere close by there. You think maybe yes?
sorry, say that again.
If right here where I'm highlighting was the cave-in, and we heard that when we were still in the tomb under the one lone grave, then just a few short feet away here, this tunnel must come up in the forest just outside of the clearing of where that grave is. You think? Does that make
Possible.
sense? So I can have Char
Although,
fly up.
can we see light from there if that's the case?
Well, he said something was obstructing. It might be leaves or vines. But Char should be able to fly up there and get a pretty good look and come back down safely. And I could look through his eyes real quick.
How high up is the ceiling?
So the cave ceiling is probably about 6 feet. The shaft goes probably at least 10 feet. It could be further, but it gets dark.
How wide and coarse is the shaft? Could I climb it?
It's pretty smooth. It's 4 feet. 4 feet. It's basically a square, 4 feet on each side, and then it goes straight up.
Well, actually, hold on. You said it's 10 feet up?
It's 6 feet up from the ground, and then
No,
it
that's
goes
about-
at least 10 more feet, if not further.
All right.
I think the shaft should go all the way up to the surface, maybe.
I'm going to go ahead and start up my lantern and then use Mage Hand to lift it as high above my head as possible. So it should
Okay.
be about 30 feet.
Yeah, you lift it up, and it winds up inside of some sort of cavity. And as you're looking around, it looks sort of familiar. You can see markings. You can see a sort of curved top, and you can make out some bones.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
It might
And
be
you said
just under. Go ahead.
a cavity. Is there something I can hook my grappling hook onto?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and use Mage Hand to, I guess since I can only use one hand at a time, I'm going to go ahead and actually, I'll set the lantern on the lip. Then I'll go ahead and use Mage Hand to bring my grappling hook up and hook it up there so it's possible to climb up.
Okay. Yeah, so when you climb up, you find, like I said, this kind of stone cavity, and it looks like if it wasn't for the big hole right there, you would be able to, you'd have room to comfortably lay down in the cavity. But it seems like it's designed to more or less, it's sized more or less to fit a person laying down.
I
You said
think
there
it
were
might be
bones
one
and
of.
stuff.
There are definitely bones in there, yes.
I think this is the bottom of one of those tombs that we did not open earlier, maybe.
Does the whole cavity look natural?
No, it's definitely smooth and man-made.
All right.
You come
So
up
what if I push at the
inside a
top?
little box.
You push at the top, and you see the top starts moving, and you can see light. And let me go ahead and show you where that takes you. All right, and then Pico, let me put you in here. And there you are, Pico.
Alrighty then.
You see that you're sticking your head out of a. Now what?
Seriously, Sashi? Well, I thought the whole point of the
All right, hold on. Sorry, I'll be right back. What is going on?
Which tomb are you sticking out of there, Dave?
I think he's also gone.
Yeah, you think he's dealing with dog things.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
that's what's happening.
Is Sasha alright? She tripped
Yeah.
or something?
It's like we got her kind of like a what's it called? A baby gate for the stairs, so she can't go up, and I think she found a way around it.
She didn't find a way around it. She just tried to go up anyway. The gate, because of the way the wall's set up, can't be at ground level. It's got to be 2 steps up. And apparently she tried to go up anyway and slipped, and now she's being carried up, even though the original idea was to use the gate, so she had to stay down and use the doggy bed in the living room.
So she's still too stubborn and has to go upstairs to sleep.
I guess.
All right, Pico, you're in the tomb. So, what are you gonna do?
Well, this does not look like a particularly safe place to be at the moment, so I'm going to go ahead and climb back down.
Fair enough.
And I'm retrieving my lantern in the process.
All right.
All right, well, this comes out in the western room of that tomb. Oh, crap. That's probably the Dwarven Shrine.
The
Ding
tomb
ding
is
ding
the
ding ding
dormant shrine?
ding. Yep.
Yep.
That's
Well, yes, that would
huge.
make sense.
Yeah, when they said well, sure.
Zirek's kind of shaking his head. You said it was a tomb, right?
Yeah.
Yes. It was specifically a shrine, and it was fairly small. I don't think a tomb would count.
Hmm.
Hmm.
My understanding is, and granted, this could, who knows? It's been a while, and sometimes this stuff's exaggerated, but supposedly there's treasure hidden in the tomb. I mean, in the shrine.
Well, we can always search elsewhere, especially if we have some idea what we're looking for. But yeah, I mean, I guess we'd probably want to avoid the piranha. And if it's beyond that, I guess we're out of luck. So Oreo, you didn't see any other way of popping up, or of course, I guess you didn't want to explore much if you didn't like the idea of the tables being turned on the usual catfish food chain.
Yeah, I tried to
Arrangement.
explain it to the others that there's like so this circle that I'm putting in here is about the only like space in there that doesn't have any of that seaweed wrapped around or any semblance of it, and the things that were moving were like all nestled in the plants. So there's like a tunnel that goes in this direction up, but then it splits into north and south. So there's obviously a way to get through that whole tunnel system, but there's plants everywhere. So unless there's a way to dodge around those things, then I have no idea.
If a suggestion I could make is that Oreo was able to get down there and get back up safely. So if more people want to check it out, then that would be an idea.
That too.
Hey,
How
Ire,
long
you don't seem particularly palatable. No offense.
Hmm.
That is true.
Ire, you do know that for whatever reason you aren't that much heavier than most people, and you were designed to be able to survive at least for short periods in water.
I think
Mhm.
what Mr. Pico was getting at is that even very hungry little piranhas are not going to eat a tin can. They're going to eat
Ah,
wet, squishy food.
you might be right. Mm, we can try.
Ire, do you have a blade, or is it just your mace there?
I've got javelins and I've got a flail.
All right, then. I shall give him my longsword to cut the plants down as you are under there.
Sure.
Okay.
And we'll go ahead and tie a rope around his waist.
And so I take it Ire's going on his own then?
Yeah, sounds
Okay.
like it.
At least to start with. I mean, you don't have to go far if it looks like it's
Yeah,
going to be a
and-
problem.
Yeah, and then if all else fails, you can, swing at some of the weird little piranha things because they're not going to know. And then they'll
All right.
come back up and say, hey, you killed the piranhas. We can all go.
So Ire, you make your way down into the caves. The water is cold and dark. Long seaweed-like plants grow from the cave bottom, reaching to the top, making it difficult to move. They basically count as difficult terrain. Large, deep blue mushrooms grow from the cave floor, and you do see movement from inside the plants. You are able to move around or over or swim over the mushrooms, however. They are large, but they don't reach all the way to the ceiling. So what do you do?
Navigate the seaweeds.
Okay, you navigate around, and you do see, as you're going through and get a better look, you do see groups of these fish. However, they don't seem to be paying any attention to you.
Oh, good.
And if
good.
you wanted a better look at
Oh,
what they look
God.
like, there you go.
Yeah, that's unpleasant.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's not good.
No.
That's why I gave you my sword to cut down the bushes they were hiding in hopes that they will disperse.
I'm not
I
gonna
don't
do
know if
that.
attacking their house
I'm
is a good
not
way to get
doing
them
that.
to
I'm
not
just
attack
gonna
you.
walk around them is what I'm gonna do.
Okay, so
Excuse me, fishy man. I'd like to get through, please.
as you push your way through the plants, they kind of catch on you, and you kind of push your way through. But the fish just swim around you, almost as if you're a rock.
Oh,
So go ahead
very
and move
good.
yourself past.
I am a rock.
And as you move past, you can see up ahead, you can see the cave goes to the south and to the north, and you see there's an opening up above you.
Ooh, can I swim up?
Sure. So
Well,
you swim up to the opening. Oops. And inside there's an air pocket and a small cave room. You see some supplies that have been left from who knows when. 50 foot of hemp rope, a lantern with no oil, and a pouch with 20 silver pieces. And that is all you find in that small area.
I'll take the silver and I'll take the. What else was it?
The 50 foot of hemp rope.
Oh,
and,
rope. Yeah, I'll take the rope.
Okay. All right.
Rope.
So what do you do from there?
One sec. Okay. Swim back down.
Okay. All right. Yep. The cave definitely goes to the south. You can see the
Wow,
plants
yeah.
get thicker, and you have trouble moving through, but you are able to make it through. The fish continue to ignore
Ooh.
you, and then you see more openings.
Swimming up.
So okay. So you swim up that opening, and there's an air pocket and small cave room. It is empty, and the air is stale.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? That's fishy to me. I want to search this area. I want to make sure there's nothing here.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check. You find an empty, small pocket of air.
Okay. All right. Back down I go. Let's check out the other one.
Okay, you see another opening. And this one opens up into a much larger room. And I'm going to go ahead and move you to that room.
All right. Ooh.
You see, let me get to my thing here. You've come up into a large room. To the east and west are ancient-looking statues with spears. They look like dwarves. To the north is a copper-colored structure with a large door currently closed. Flanking it are two empty braziers, and embedded in the cave walls are lion heads in statue form, a deeper copper color. To the south
Wow.
are more cave tunnels.
Wow. Let's check this out real quick.
But you quickly find that the cave tunnels all lead to dead ends.
Yep, they do. All right. Are there like?
There is a door that is currently closed, and you see it covered in runes.
Is there a handle or a lock
There
or
is
anything
no
of that
handle,
nature?
but you get the impression that the dwarven magic or dwarven runes are magical.
I cannot read Dwarven.
Correct?
Do the braziers, they have coals or anything in them, or are they like
They're completely empty.
completely empty? All right, let me see. Maybe if I cast a spell, the door will like it.
Okay, what are you going to cast?
Don't have any cantrips, I don't think. Nope. Seems like a holy kind of place. I'll cast a bless on the
Okay.
door.
You cast Bless, and the runes flash, but nothing else happens.
Unfortunate. Looking at the lion heads, is there anything special about them when I take a closer look?
You look, they seem to be very old, but made of some sort of coppery metal, very detailed, but you don't see anything that stands out.
Mm-hmm.
And do you have Arcana?
No.
Okay. You get the sense that the door is somehow sealed with the arcane.
I see. I don't think I can get it open then. It's not gonna be me. All right. I'll go back down in the water and go back.
Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and move you back. Oh, you're already there, so I'll just delete you.
Oh.
And there you go. So Ire pops up out of the water after after probably about 10 or 15 minutes. So Ire, what do you say?
So there are lots of deadly piranhas down there, but after some exploration, they didn't seem to care for me. So I found the dwarven. It looks like a sort of temple or religious looking building with some runes on the door, 2 lion heads, and some braziers that were completely empty. I think it's magically sealed somehow. I can't get it open. I have no idea how it works.
If he was gone for 15 minutes, I'd have time to ritual cast on at least one of these 2 things, right? To identify.
Sure.
The wand.
All right, it's okay. You cast it on the wand. You find it's a wand of magic missiles. The only change due to the gritty realism to the base wand is that it recharges on a long rest instead of on the day. But otherwise, it's exactly the same as a wand of magic missiles.
Magic missile.
Do you want to take
okay.
the time I'll just go ahead and tell you the other ones. I'm assuming you're going to do that as soon as you get a chance. So it's a ceremonial dagger, which counts as a magic weapon, and it is +1. So +1 to hit, +1 to damage, and it counts as a magic weapon when that's important.
So I'm not sure if we want to go try and fight our way through the piranhas, but I'm definitely not going to be able to open that door and go any further on my own.
How many piranha do you think are down there?
I saw probably on the way. I saw probably 3 swarms. So quite a few. That's only what I saw as well, because there was most likely more hiding in the kelp. But I have no idea how strong they are.
Was there a way to make them go away?
I don't. Maybe.
To cut down the bushes so that they would, go staying in the bushes.
I figured I'd rather not disturb their place of residence if they aren't disturbing me.
Well, they will disturb the rest of us. That was the idea. But okay. Got my sword red for nothing.
The sword is
if you
now
really-
rather cold.
I can try to cut the kelp down if you want, but
That was the idea, because if you can cut the kelp down, then the fishies will go back into the other bushes away from the direction you want to go, making more of a clear path.
I don't think it'll work, but I'll give it a shot.
All right.
Okay.
Actually,
well, if you
I've
don't
got
think
an
it works-
idea, Ire. Hold
What's
on.
the idea?
I'm going to go get somebody to help you. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I head over here. I go ahead and grab some help. And I return with body of most recently killed cultist.
Oh, that might do the trick.
So the idea being is, yeah, we'll go ahead and we can have you go through, tie the cultist to the rope. After you've gone through, you can drag the body, and but they're on a feeding friend, especially if there's somewhere that you can lure them to, should make it easier for us to
Yeah.
get past.
Can we grab 2 of these bodies actually? Because these guys, they might be, extra hungry. They don't get much company down there.
Well, it would be environmentally responsible to go ahead and clean up our messes. So
Of
yeah, we can
course.
go over to the other side and maybe grab all 3 of them just in case.
All right. Fair enough.
All right, this is gonna be tough. I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and move you back.
Neutral buoyancy, you won't have to worry nearly as much about dragging bodies.
well, I mean more so the fact that I have to get the bodies past them and away from the path we want to go on, without them swarming me first.
Well, that's the thing is, you go through with the rope, then you pull the cultist on the rope, so you're
Oh,
actually
yeah.
fairly physically
That's pretty
separated.
good. Yeah. All right.
The trick might be figuring out somewhere to lure them anyway, but you don't have to be carrying the cultist and be right there with them.
All right. All right. So what I'm gonna do now is okay. I'm gonna position myself over here,
Okay.
and I'm gonna pull the bodies that are roped up as close to me as I can without getting frenzied first. Hopefully, I can get them past this choke point here.
All right. As you go by with the body, you immediately notice
Oh God.
swarm coming out and following along, and you see them shredding the bodies.
All
And
right.
I'm gonna have you, as you're going through, as they're swarming around, biting around. Go ahead and give me a dex save.
Oh jeez. Oh, that's not a deck save.
Okay,
Oh, that's
no
a
problem.
that's
you
a deck
swim.
save.
You swim out of the mass of fish, biting and clawing, and you manage to make your way back.
All right, I'm gonna rush up here and start yelling. Hey, we gotta go. We're on the clock. Let's go.
All right. Is everybody going?
Sure.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
All
down.
Yep.
Let me put everybody here. No, you're not going to move? Of course not. Sorry. I'm having a bit of a malfunction here. Things not wanting to move. There we go. Let's see. Oh, wait. We got Char. All right. All right. Is everybody there?
Yes.
Yep.
Not with any visibility.
Okay.
you gotta scroll down
Pico.
quite a bit.
Oh, there we go.
Okay. All right, so you see a swarm of fish. You see the water is filling with blood, and it's acting as a sort of fog, and you just see teeth. So what are you gonna do?
I guess Irish should lead the way.
Quickly get the direction you want to go.
And I'm gonna
This
start
way.
following right behind him, staying close to the wall.
All right, everybody stays close to the wall, and you follow Ira along, and the fish seem to be frenzied and are so far ignoring you.
Yeah, I think it's this way.
All right, so yeah, he leads everybody, and so everybody stack up, and I will move everybody up. There we go, there we go. Did I get everybody? Let's see. Can everybody see?
Yes.
All right, so yeah, you see the same thing that that Ire saw. You see the large room, the statues with the spears that look like dwarves, the copper-colored structure with a large door that's closed. Flanking it are 2 empty braziers, and you see the lion heads in the walls. And Ragu, you notice that the door is covered with dwarven runes.
Righty. see here.
Do you happen to know Dwarven?
Pulling my page up right now. Common Elvish, damn it. All right, who here knows Dwarf?
No.
Hold on, let me check. I think I might.
Somebody knows Dwarf. I remember somebody speaking Dwarf.
I do. I knew it.
Okay, so Devok.
Excellent.
Devok, you're able to run to tell Ragu what the runes say. Ragu, it looks like it's some sort of ward keeping the door closed and protecting it from intruders. However, it seems to be weakened with age. So you can potentially make an Arcana check to dispel it.
Since this is a thing, would it be Artificer or Magic Item?
Sure, that makes sense.
Excellent. All right. And with Devok's help, is it a plus or no?
No, Devok is enabling it. Without him, it wouldn't be possible. But he's not really helping you on the magic side of things.
Alrighty. In that case, crappy.
All right, you go to dispel the runes. However, they seem to rebuff your efforts and remain strong.
Pico, if I tell you what I did wrong, would you be able to try?
Artificer's lore? I don't think I have anything good for that.
You can use
Arcana.
plain Arcana if you want.
I tell you what
probably
I
be
did
better to
wrong.
have Devok do that or something, because my arcane is not very high.
Yeah,
Got you.
Devok, you can definitely do it.
I
Unless
explained to
Spell lore would help.
I also
Yeah.
have a 4 Arcana. I don't know what Devok says.
Oh.
Well, is anybody helping Devok?
Yeah, I
I
said
can-
I was. I'm telling him exactly
yeah,
what
go
I
ahead
did
and roll
wrong.
for advantage then, Devok. Okay, so that 23 is actually good enough, and you manage to dispel the magic. And as the magic fades, the door slides open, and inside you find 3 gold chalices. Oreo, from your time as a rogue, you happen to know that those are worth 50 silver piece each. You find 100 gold pieces scattered in offering bowls. You find a belt adorned with dwarven imagery.
I go ahead and take 10 minutes to ritual cast a detect.
Okay, and you also find a copper-colored spear adorned with dwarven runes. All right, so the belt is a belt dwarven kind, and I'm assuming you're also casting Identify on the spear.
If it's glowing, yes.
Okay, and here's the information about the spear. It's Hrothgar's spear. It's a magic spear with a +1 to hit. Its base damage is 1d8 plus 2. Its two-handed damage is 1d10 plus 2. It counts as a magical weapon. It ignores resistances to slashing or piercing damage. And when thrown, it has a longer range of 40 or 100 feet, depending on whether you have advantage or disadvantage or not.
Very powerful spear and the belt that would make you like the dwarf.
Spear. I think I claimed the spear.
Okay. It's definitely better than what you have now.
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes Oreo and Devok, who each have a magic weapon.
All right, so yeah, put that on your sheet. So Devok has a spear. You also have the belt of dwarven kind, the gold in the offering bowls if somebody wants to take it, and the 3 gold chalices.
Does anybody want to grab that, or do they want me to carry it, or anything?
I can grab the gold and the chalices. Although, how much does the chalices weigh?
It's probably about half a pound each.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take those for now.
Cool. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go ahead and move everybody back. I'm just gonna assume you're gonna retread your steps. And of course I copied the wrong thing. I copied the my little flag instead of you guys. Alrighty, can everybody see themselves?
Mm-hmm.
We don't need 2 Ayers, one's plenty. Alright, so once you return, you see that Jared and his group, they're clearly getting ready to leave. But before he leaves, Jared walks up to you, Pico, and he says, well, young man, you've certainly helped me quite a lot today. And it will take us some time, but we plan on tracing these cultists back to their houses or whatever establishments they belong to, and figure out who in the city is bankrolling this whole thing. And once we complete that, we might need some help. So I would like to ask, how can we contact you if we need your help to deal with this?
You could probably stop by the Nexus Guild. Is the easiest way to get a hold of us, I'm sure.
You are a member of the guild. I was not aware of that. And yes, I have Pico and Oreo. I know of you, so that will be sufficient. That is good. It may take me a month. It may take us a month or so to track everybody down. We have to be covert about this. We're not just interested in this group. We're interested in the people bankrolling them as well. So we cannot show our hands too early. But once we do that in a month or so, we may be contacting you again to help us deal with these creatures. They would bring upon us death from the Kylon and destroy our world, and we cannot allow that to happen. I assume you agree.
Yep.
Well, in that case, me and my companions should be on our way before they finish here, so we can set up. And I bid you well, and good luck hunting if you want to take care of the Stole Stealer. And then they start heading out.
All right, and now they can count themselves as rescued.
All right.
So I'm thinking we're going to go back and handle the witch, yeah?
That sounds like a plan. And I'm thinking rather than go to the front door, which is probably how she'd expect us to show up. After all, it was in fact how we showed up the first time. Maybe we should approach through the back door, or bottom door, as the case may be.
And either you have your big flail and spears or javelins yet. Galen, do you even use a weapon?
Nope, I don't like them.
I did not think so. Well, there is also being a belt of dwarfing. Does somebody likes the belt of dwarfing?
Yeah, I could use the belt if no one else is interested.
Yeah, as a
Alright.
reminder, you have to attune to it, which you get up to 3 things you can be attuned to at the same time.
Yeah. I was just asking here, who wanted to take that, by the way?
Well, anybody who needs
Aye.
to know Dwarvision could use some dark vision.
Yeah, I could use the dark vision, and I don't know Dwarven, so.
And you'll get a +2 to con and resistance to poison.
Yeah. Although the resistance to poison is a little lost on me, but everything else is useful.
Well,
Okay.
there is one weird side effect, although it may not affect you.
The beard
might grow a
does not
beard.
affect me, I don't think.
That's true. There's no way you're going to grow a beard.
No. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately. I agree.
Maybe I can get some implants.
Hey, Devak, are you sure you're not wanting this?
The
I would
belt?
have a lizard with a beard would be hilarious. I shall even
How would
braid
he
it
grow a
warrior
beard? He
style
shouldn't
for
be any
you.
more capable of it than a construct.
I know, but elves can't
Yeah.
technically grow beard, but if they put the belt on, they should grow a dwarf beard, which is
Yeah, but elves are capable of growing hair.
Yeah.
I don't think a
I
Sudaga
already like
can.
I already speak Dwarven.
reptile.
I already speak
Specialized
Dwarven.
scales would turn into like feathers. You'd have a feathery beard.
Not quite. Anyway, yeah, Ire, you taking it sounds fine.
All right.
Oh, geez, I guess I could have put that on and gotten a luxurious mane.
True.
That would be
Yeah.
cool.
True enough. All right, so are you guys going to use the caves to go to the crone's house, or are you going to do something else first?
We should go
Well,
fire the cultists
I-
before they finish.
Wait, what was that?
We should go firebolt the cultists before they finish.
So you're recommending sabotaging Jared's plan?
It's the same thing I said like 3 times already. Everybody's ignored me. It was just funny.
Oh, I think everybody noticed it every single time you said it. I mean, I even remember Jared being quite worried when you suggested that.
I know. Sorry. Little levity
And I
in the
also
face
remember
of
pointing out that if you were really dead set on doing that, that we wanted to do our exploration first, which I guess technically we did do. But I think I trust Jared's judgment there.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, if
Right,
those guys are energized while doing that ritual, it may not turn out well for us. And I mean, as far as what can go wrong, I mean,
Yes, I understand. Sorry. Go take care of the beach.
Okay. Well, I'll just move you to the map then to make it easier.
Is there any
Don't
other
do anything
exploring?
right
Did we
away
get some-
because I'm going to need to move you guys.
Was there any other exploring? Any caves we did not go down or anything we did not exploring?
I seem to remember, I think we got a pretty good look around at everything. I think the points of interest.
Before we went through the illusionary wall, when we were on the other side of it, was there not the whole cave section we did not yet go down or look at?
I can put you guys back if you guys want. Not a problem. Yeah, let's go ahead and move you back to the illusionary wall was over here. So what are you going to do?
Goes through the illusionary wall to the other side where the witch is.
Sure. Does everybody else want to go as well?
Sure.
Wait, wait. I thought the illusionary wall, doesn't this take us to where the we just were?
Yeah, that's so.
Yeah, so on the other side of the illusionary wall, on the witch's side.
Oh,
Before
here, let
we
me
went
just go
through
ahead and
the
delete it so
illusionary.
you guys can just move back and forth. There you go.
Oh wait,
Yeah,
'cause yeah,
like-
this area is
yeah.
just the mining.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
basically this
Tunnel.
is the exit over. It leads outside.
Yeah. So on this side of the illusionary wall, I thought there was somewhere over here we did not yet explore.
Because down here was basically the big warren of mice. And then there was just just
There
various
was there was
passages.
there was
couple holes.
howling on this side that I remember, but we never really went that way because we went through the other side.
Oh, we did do the howling because down. Oh no, we didn't go up, but that's dead ends anyway. We went south because that's
Okay.
where Jared was.
Right.
All right. So, so we didn't miss anywhere then. That's all I was getting at. And I figured on
yeah,
the way
this
back. Yeah.
Well, I guess this is the only spot that This area here doesn't look. I mean, is this pool of anything interesting?
Yeah, so yeah, you see a pool of water. It does, it just looks like a normal pool. There's a drip from above. But yeah, you don't see anything special about it.
Unless we want to risk sticking our heads down these holes.
Yeah, let's not. I think we decided against that. All right. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure. I thought there was some place we hadn't explored down here.
Yeah, no problem. So can I? You want me to move you now?
Sure.
All right. All right. So you come up in the witch's sorry, in the crone's structure. Can everybody see the map?
Yeah.
I had to turn my lantern on, but
It's foggy, so that's probably you're going to be seeing that. The front door or the door is still open.
Do we hear anything before we move anywhere else?
From there, you can hear mumbling from the south. Sounds like an old lady mumbling.
Yep, you guys, she's back.
Oh God.
All right. Do you want to take the lead in expressing your gratitude?
Not really. Is this a door to the back? Like, do I know this goes out?
You see light coming in from the bottom. And
I don't feel
on-
particularly like so. Just my in character, she's not really keen on taking a fight in her own house. Just my 2 cents. So I'm thinking that we probably want to get around and get a better vantage point. But if you guys want to go ahead first, by all means.
I don't
I feel
know
like
how
we're-
we're going to get her out of her house. And we
Well,
can always
actually,
burn it down around her. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, considering all the bones outside, if we approach from the outside, that might be what would be preferable for her anyway.
Especially if she brings the bones up to attack us.
Like I said, you guys make your decisions. I just put my 2 cents.
Well, Ire, this person's particularly evil. Do you want to lead the way in smiting such a vile individual?
absolutely. Do we know where they are? Oh, geez.
Well, her lab is to the west inside the building.
And the
Okay.
mumbling was coming from down?
the south, yes.
Okay.
Oh, she's out front.
Yeah, I do
I do
see.
see.
it. Um.
All right.
Alright.
Oh, I guess it's too dark for some of you guys.
Yeah, I can't really see.
No, I can see.
outside.
Yeah, I can see her.
Oh.
She's right here.
Yeah,
there we go.
she's-
Oh. Are we sure she's evil? What if she's just kind of nice?
Yeah. I don't
Oh,
know.
no, she's already tried to kill
sent
us.
to our doom so that she could collect souls. And
Ooh.
and yeah, we find that all her alchemy stuff was gibberish, except she knows how to make poison, and she was going to feed this poison as a telepathy sort of thing. She's if she's good, she's as misunderstood as they get.
Anyway, I
Got
opened the
it.
back door for you since it wasn't locked, or it's not locked from the inside. So
So are
Alright,
we? It's the game plan that we're just gonna.
Bust in
Yes.
on her and just
Yeah.
slap her around.
Well, if Oreo does have a good possible point here, I mean, if two of you go around to the left and two of you go around to the right, and then somebody can sneak up from behind her. Pincer maneuver.
I have an idea. I take out my flail, and I cast Sacred Weapon on my flail, and it starts glowing, and
as soon as you cast Sacred Weapon,
Uh-oh.
uh-oh.
she
From
turns
right
around
here.
and everybody roll initiative.
No, I was gonna give a speech, and well,
We kind of killed our surprise.
well,
Yeah. Oh.
She's fast.
It's
oh,
fast.
jeez.
Okay, is that everybody? All right, so this is the beginning of round one. So the first thing she does is you notice that as she's turning around, you notice that her fingernails are growing longer, and you see her skin darken, and this purplish haze rising from her. And then she raises her clawed hand, and a red magic circle appears around her. And suddenly you hear laughter as four cacklers, demons, suddenly puff into being all around you. And at that point, she laughs along with the cacklers as they attack. Alrighty, so Oreo. Actually, let me go ahead and actually roll initiative for them, so they'll get proper initiative because they don't get to go right away. So let me resort. Anyway, so she's laughing. Ire, what are you doing as the cacklers show up all around you? And just so everybody can get a good look, they have a blade on a chain that they're whipping around, and they are probably about 4 feet tall. And look, they got horns and scaly skin and glowing blue-green eyes.
Yes. I have to think if I want to just charge her down or actually take out these cacklers. I think we'll stick around. Actually, what I'm gonna do is cast Bless. On, let's see. I guess just the 3 people in the room with me: Devok, Galen, and Oreo.
Ragu's right here.
I can't see you. Oh, you are right there. I'll give it to Ragu instead of Galen. I think it'd be more useful for attack rolls. And then, so what that does is whenever you make an attack roll or a saving throw, you can add a d4 to it. And it lasts 1 minute.
Thank you.
So that's your action?
That's my action.
Okay.
And is that just once or for the whole minute?
For the whole minute. For all attack and saving throws.
So
Attack
long
rolls.
as so long as you don't lose concentration.
Right.
Oh, okay. Cool.
All right, so that's your action, Ire.
Well, actually, I don't think, because it's just a 1 action. I don't think it's actually concentration, but
Well, we can check
Yeah.
it out. Spell concentration. So yeah. So,
oh, never mind. All right, gotcha.
That also limits on how many concentration spells you can have at the same time and all that kind of stuff. Anyway,
Right.
Ire, so that's your action. So what else are you gonna do if anything?
No, that'll be it.
All right.
Actually, Devok, what's your health right now?
Out of 31.
How many out of 31?
18.
Yeah, I could give you. I'll heal you with 5 points of my lay on hands.
Thank you.
All right. Cackler 2 standing in front of you, Ire. You notice that suddenly you hear this hideous laughter erupt from him, and it seems to fill your ears. And I need you to make a DC 11 Wisdom saving throw, Ire.
Ooh.
You make it, but for a moment you felt like bursting out into laughter. Okay, Cackler 3 is then going to. He's going to attempt to wrap his spike chain around Galen's neck. Let's see if he succeeds. The 22, I believe that's a hit, correct?
Correct.
So as it wraps around, the chain itself cuts into your flesh, doing 8 points of damage. That was to Galen. All right,
Okay.
Ragu, you see that Galen has this chain wrapped around his neck, biting into his flesh. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna have to step forward one. Where is my char here?
I don't know where he went, so I'll just put
He
him
must
below
not
you.
have. Yeah, he must not have come up with me.
Right, there you go.
All right. Char will fly over this way, flapping in the cackler's face, and then fly out here to make sure he is safe. And I shall booming blades is cackler 3.
Go for it. That's a hit, although just barely. You found out their AC is 15.
Right. Actually, that should have been on an advantage because I did have char, but yeah, you're right. Okay.
Yeah, you can roll again in case you crit.
Okay.
Okay.
Nope. All right. And then the Zappo with 11 slashing points.
Yeah, you strike him, and then you see this red mist as it vanishes, dead. Okay.
I guess he doesn't like booming blade. Keys him off and gets to the evil witch.
So what do you do next?
You
can still move and take your second attack.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking here. I can move up here.
You could move, like, for example, here, if you wanted to be out of the way.
Yeah, I can get past and not be covering somebody else's space, right?
Exactly, yeah.
All right. And I shall get over here, and I shall take my standard, just as I'm going by there with the punching.
That hits. All right, he takes 5 points of damage, and he laughs. Is that the end of your turn?
That most certainly is.
All right, Devok, you see the first cackler has been destroyed. What are you going to do?
I will move. Can I see Cackler 2 from here?
It looks like it.
Then I will shoot it.
Go for it.
The only reason I moved Char down is so I can keep tabs on him. He's not really that close.
Fair enough. That was Booming Blade, so that was, and it was magical, so okay, you're fine. However, these things are resistant to cold, fire, lightning, and non-magical weapons. Which Eldritch Blast is none of those things, correct?
Yeah, that's force.
So there you go. So he takes 3 points. He's still there, but just barely. And he continues to laugh. Is that the end of your turn? All right, Galen, one of the cacklers is dead. The one to the south of you is almost dead. So what are you going to do?
And it's in. I think I'm going to shoot the one to the. Wait, are these guys resistant to fire? Do they look
Yes.
like they might be?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, then I'm gonna step in. This is risky. Yeah, screw it. I'm gonna step in and I'm gonna shocking grasp cackler too.
Okay, they're also resistant to lightning.
Oh, well.
Resistance only means that you do half damage. It does not mean you don't hurt them at all.
No, but that's pretty bad for my damage. I might need to do other things.
But you know the guy to the south is almost dead.
Yeah, I'll just do shocking grasp.
Okay.
I'm already here. Might as well.
That hits.
All right.
So that rounds down to
2, 1.
1 point of damage. So he is still alive, but I'll go ahead and tell you that he has 1 point of damage. Had you done one more, he'd be dead. Is that the end of your turn?
Oh, I guess it is.
All
Actually,
right.
well,
Oh,
yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
yeah. No, that's it. That's the end of my turn.
Fair enough. Alrighty. So Oreo, this hideous laughter digs into your brain. Go ahead and make a DC 11 Wisdom saving throw. So, Oreo, you fall to the ground. You think that everything around you.
She got a 13.
Okay, fair enough. So you don't fall to the ground. You resist it. All right, Pico. Cackler 2 is almost dead. You can hear Cackler 1 cackling at Oreo, and for a moment it looked like she was going to burst up laughing. So what are you going to do?
Jeez. And you said they were resistant to what?
Fire, lightning. Hold on. Cold,
Fire,
fire,
lightning,
lightning, and non-magical attacks. If you have a magical weapon, then obviously they're not resistant to that.
Well, I've only sort of got that. How do I want to do this? All right. Well, I guess I'll just move forward. Well, you did say it was just resistance, right?
Yep. Which means they take half damage.
I'll try it anyway then.
Okay, that is not a hit. They dodge out of both your attacks.
All right. Well, that didn't really do a whole lot of good. Well, for what it's worth, I'm curious to see what this lady has in the way of opportunity attacks. So I'm going to go ahead and move on around. I'm going to go ahead and slide right under her, or at least attempt that.
Okay, that hits.
Oh. Well, no. Well, the point is that.
Sorry, you're just tumbling. Yeah. Okay.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and kind of slide past and hide behind a tree.
Fair enough. All right. Oreo, the cackler in front of you tried to do something to your mind. What are you going to do?
I'm going to attack it, but I'm having to modify my weapon for some reason. Things got messed up with the thing, so hold on. Okay, so I will attack with the magic weapon I've got. I called it Wrath.
Okay.
But sorry, it's just I don't know why this got mixed up this way. I haven't changed anything, so technically I'll.
You
I
can just
don't know.
roll
Okay,
and then
hold on.
modify it as needed.
It's supposed to be a 19 to hit. But,
Okay, so that hits. All right, and that's 4 damage?
I believe so, because it's, let me see, it's 2d4, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it definitely hurts him. It does full damage. And he's still there, but you definitely hurt it.
Bonus action, I just use my claws.
Okay. A critical hit. So yeah, just roll normal, and then we'll have it. So is
Just
that
3.
6?
Mm-hmm.
So
just
3
3.
of it gets through. All right.
And that's it.
Cool. So yeah, you definitely hurt it a lot. It's still alive though. All right. Cackler 4. It is going to just. It's just going to go ahead and firebolt you, Galen. But because that's a ranged spell at melee, it has disadvantage. It doesn't seem to care. It laughs as it does so, as it misses. All right, so now we're at the beginning of round 2. And Kala, well, you notice that she moves rather quickly for an old woman, and her nails have become long, sharp claws that she digs into Ragu with, or at least attempts to. So a 16 is a miss, and it doesn't look like she can attack again, so that was a failure on her part. All right, Iron. You see the cackler below you is almost dead, and then you got one to your left. So what are you gonna do?
About how much health do we think these guys have?
Mm, your guess as good as anybody's,
Okay.
but it's almost.
I
Uh,
killed one in what, like 11 or 12 points.
all right. I'm gonna hit cackler number 4.
Okay.
And since I have sacred weapon activate, it counts as a magic weapon.
Does that
but-
do radiant damage?
I don't think so. Let me check. It doesn't
Okay.
really matter right now because I missed.
Okay, fair enough. Is that the end of your turn?
Yep.
All right, cackler 2, and then you hear this hideous laughter, Ragu. That seems to worm its way into your brain. Go ahead and make a DC 11 Wisdom saving throw.
Good luck to me.
You resist. All right, Ragu. The cackler tried to mess with your brain. What are you going to do about it?
Not so happy. Char will be flying straight this way to flutter in the lady's face, and then out of the door to be out of the way. And then I shall use my advantage to swing upon the lady.
Okay. She voids your attack.
And my brass knuckles follow-up attack will be at the cackler's face.
Okay.
Oh,
And
that should
he
have
dodges
been
that.
normal.
Yep, that's
Okay.
fine. Either one misses. Is that the end of your turn?
Alrighty. That unfortunately is.
All right, Devok. Cackler 2, at very, very low health, is somehow surviving. I was going to let you know he has 1 health. And then, of course, you have the other 2 cacklers, including the one near Oreo who's almost dead. So what are you going to do?
I'll shoot it again. Actually, that's what I'll do.
Okay.
I'll just-
And he
If I could-
dodges.
even hit it. All right.
By the way, were you one of the ones that was blessed?
I think he was, yeah.
So don't forget to roll your d4.
Yeah. Because if you roll a 4, that would theoretically hit it. We know it's got an AC of 15.
Not quite. It's very close. All right, Galen. The cackler.
Oh, I should have rolled my D4 on the falchion attack against the lady, unless that would have obviously not hit either.
That even with the 4, even if you rolled a 4, that's still gonna hit.
Okay, yeah. No, okay. I
All
wasn't
right.
asking to retcon just for later.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, Galen. The cackler to the south is almost dead. What are you gonna do?
I think I might as well just shocking grasp it again.
Okay. And it dodges.
God. Okay. That's fine. Actually, does it have metal?
It does. Well,
It's
it does
technically
have the
that-
chain, but it's not holding metal.
Okay, so never mind.
All right, Cackler 1 is almost dead, but he's gonna try. He's gonna try his hideous laughter once again. So Oreo, make a DC 11 Wisdom saving throw, and you make it. All right, Pico, you are currently behind the tree, and you see that it's basically the same state. Cackler 2 is somehow still alive, so what are you going to do?
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I guess I'm going to hope that hag doesn't have any particular resistances. I'm going to go ahead and slash at her.
Okay. You slash at her, and as it turns out, she is.
Advantage for flanking.
You do have advantage, so you can roll again. As it turns out, she is resistant to cold and fire and non-magical attacks. And that misses.
The 15 does too.
Yes. That 17 does hit, but if the knife claws are not magical, then they do have damage. So I think that would be a, was that a 2? All right, you can tell that as you slash, her skin seems mysteriously firm, and it just kind of slides over it, barely scratching her.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and back off a couple of hexes here.
Okay. All right, Oreo, this cackler keeps trying to get in your mind. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and use the dagger again.
Okay.
Does that hit?
No, it does not. Their AC is 15. Now it hits. Okay, and it bursts into red smoke.
And then I'm gonna go up here and hit with my claws again.
Okay. And
With
yeah.
hold on.
That does hit.
So this plus, well, that should do it, right?
Yep. So it had 1 hit point. Half of 4 is 2, which is still enough to kill it.
And that. Let's see, that was. Hold on, I'm just gonna move back just so I can see the. Okay, so there's that. This and here I'm gonna be there. I know that I produce opportunity attack, but it doesn't matter. It's fine. That's it.
Sure. So it'll just do its bite, which is a 14, which
It does not.
hit. All right. Is that the end of your turn?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cackler 4 is just going to try to bite Galen because it's getting tired of everybody resisting his laughter. 17. Does that hit? Galen.
Yeah, definitely.
So he bites in.
Wait, before he does, I'd like to try and step in the way and block the attack with my fighting style protection, giving the cackler disadvantage.
Okay. So let him roll again then. What was it? So he gets disadvantage, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, so he definitely hits.
Well, I tried.
Yeah,
All right,
don't worry
so
about
he
it.
bites into you. You do 6 points of damage, and you feel your skin feels very hot. All right, now we're at the beginning of round 3, and as we begin, Kala suddenly vanishes, as if she was never there. However, during the phasing process, Ragu and Oreo, you see her starting to vanish, so go ahead and take your opportunity attacks if you want.
Okay.
So Oreo
it doesn't
is not
really
hit,
matter. Yeah.
and Ragu does not hit. All right.
Oh, wait a second.
Wait, you got a D4.
Now you
Rolled
do
an 18.
hit, so go ahead and roll damage.
And this couldn't be a booming blade attack, just a regular swing.
Yeah, it's just a regular attack. It's opportunity attack. Okay. So yeah, you definitely hit her, and she seems to phase out of existence, and you get the feeling that she might be moving. All right, Ire, you you saw her vanish. You see the cackler still alive next to you. What are you gonna do?
I'll take a swing at the cackler.
Okay.
Nice.
And that hits. All right, solid 7 points of damage, but it is still alive. Is that the end of your turn?
And I
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right, Regu. The hag has vanished. The cackler's still alive. What are you gonna do?
All right, she vanished, but she was literally just vanished a millisecond ago, right?
Well,
I reach into my right pouch, pull out a handful of powder, and throw it up into the room.
you do so, and it settles on the ground.
It doesn't settle on any moving invisible objects hiding around here.
It does not.
Damn it.
Yeah, she was described as phasing out.
Well, he also said that we get the impression she's on the move, which means she didn't Misty Step teleport. She's
It's
invisible.
more like as she was phasing out, you saw her moving, so you you got the impression that she's moving.
Okay.
Oh, it's just kind of a given anyway. Somebody blinks out, they're usually going to blink back in somewhere else.
Okay, so
So
did
I
that count
guess-
as my attack action, or do I get to actually go ahead and attack if that was completely?
Well, we'll call that
done?
your bonus action. So go ahead and do your thing.
All right, I will go ahead and take your normal attack. That'll be a Char flying in and past,
Okay.
and I'll put him there so I can see him. And then I will run up here and swing away with a booming blade.
Fair enough. And it dodges.
Wait a second.
It dodges.
14. Damn it. Okay, that's it for me.
Fair enough. All right, Devok. The hag has disappeared. The cackler's still alive. What are you gonna do?
We will move in through and shoot it.
Okay. And normally that would have been an opportunity attack, but it already spent it on Oreo. That hits.
8. Okay.
Okay, and it disappears into a puff of red smoke. Galen, you don't see anybody around, but you sense that the hag is still around somewhere. What are you gonna do?
I'll move to here. And if she comes within melee range of me, I'll have an attack ready for that.
Okay, so you can hold your action. Fair enough.
Mhm.
All right, Pico. The hag is nowhere to be seen, but you feel like she's still around somewhere. What are you gonna do?
Well, I guess, let's see, I'm gonna wait till she appears. I'm gonna immediately rush at her and hit her with a booming blade.
Okay. All right, Oreo. Same with you. What are you gonna do?
I'm going to. Are the rest of the rooms open?
Yeah, it should all be open.
So I'm gonna go in here. I'm just going to use bonus action to hide and have my action ready if I see within melee to attack.
Okay, so you're hidden.
Mhm.
All right, so we're on round 4. Suddenly, on the other side of Ire, the hag reappears, and she's casting a spell. But before she finishes, I think anybody who had held actions where it qualifies, you can do your thing now.
I
Alright.
can. I'm just gonna throw my dagger because I'm not actually within melee.
Okay, go ahead. And that hits.
And that's with sneak attack. Can I? Or is that. Yeah, because I'm holding an action, right? So that's still considered my round?
Well, you are attacking from hiding, so yeah, since you haven't used it last time. Yep, go ahead.
Well, she's already within 5 of.
Oh, that's true. All right, so that's 7 points that she takes, right?
14.
Wrath is
it magical
Wrath
weapons?
is the magic.
Wrath is
a
magic.
magic. Yeah,
Okay,
it's a
so-
magic +1.
Fair enough. That does count then. 14. All right.
Mm,
Anybody else?
Alright, well, I
Ire,
guess I'll
you
go
have-
ahead and
Oh, go ahead, Pico. Sorry.
Well, I know mine included movement, so I'll just basically rush straight to here and hit her with a booming blade.
Okay.
Booming blade, booming. Oh wait, that's right. I think it's technically just got to roll as a regular. Nah, that didn't do any good.
Fair enough. Anybody else?
Could I do mine or no?
I actually, hold on. Pico, was that move? Does that include movement as part of the move? Because normally when you hold an action, you can either attack or move. So do you have an attack that has both built into it?
Not really. So if that's the case, then I'll just park here again.
So you could do the move part if you want, just not the attack. So Galen, that same applies for you. You can attack or move.
No, I'll just wait until it's my turn again.
I do believe that includes a cantrips though.
What do you
So
mean?
you can cantrip as your attack there.
Yeah, you can't do a spell, but you can cantrip.
So I can move and cantrip?
No, you can move or cantrip.
Oh, so
Don't you
yeah, I'll
have
just
anything
shoot.
in range?
Yeah, got it. I'll just
Yeah.
shoot her with a
I was just saying that to Dave
fireball.
too.
Okay, go ahead, Galen.
Well, actually, now that I think about it, there is something I could do. No, I won't waste my time on it. I'll just firebolt her.
Okay. That hits. So whatever you roll, it's half damage. So 1 point.
Cool. Yes, sir.
All right. Anybody else? This is
Oh,
just
if I
for
get a
people
free-
who held their actions.
Yeah, I didn't get to hold my action because I had went before she did.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so she's going to finish up what she's doing. Another magic circle appears around her, and suddenly, out of nowhere, you hear more cackling. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and roll initiative. Descending. And Ire, you notice that she summoned 4 more of the cackling demons. So what are you going to do?
Oh, jeez. Where? Oh, she's right behind me. Jesus.
Yes, she is.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna hit her.
Okay.
Attempt to.
That
Ooh,
hits.
there we go.
Is
There
it a
we
magical or non-magical weapon?
Yeah,
With
he magic weaponed it.
Yep, sacred weapon. It counts as a magic
Okay.
weapon.
Then it does full damage. Go ahead.
And I would also like to cast a smite with it, with the attack. So that's gonna be. If I can figure out how to do it, I haven't actually casted smite before.
What are these cacklers anyway? Are they demons?
They are demons, yes.
Smite is you spend a spell slot to do an extra damage. I don't know if it's like a D8 or a D10.
Right, I think it's a D8. I
something.
just don't actually have smite in my spell.
Oh,
so I'm a little.
No, you're gonna have to just add a D8 with the damage roll there. It's not gonna be a button.
Yeah,
Yeah, so just roll your damage like normal, and then roll an extra d8.
it's 2d8.
Oh, 2d8. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that makes sense if it's taking up a spell slot. So
Yeah.
sure.
So it's 2d8 radiant damage.
So 9, and then roll your 2d8. All right. So that would be 17, which she takes. She's still at over half her health. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah.
All right, Ragu. There's more cackling demons, and the hag is behind Ire. What are you gonna do?
Char's gonna fly in, do his flutter interface as he gets out of the way, and I'm going to step up with Ire. Guess
Yep, there's
about
flush.
like that. And I am going to booming the blade.
Go for it.
Holy
And
crap!
she easily
Wait,
avoids it.
Yeah, even with D4, huh?
Oh yeah. You know, actually, I'm just going to tell you, you guys have probably got enough hits on her. Her AC is 17.
Yep, definitely. I don't have anything else there.
Okay. So, Calculator 4 is simply going to bite at Pico since he's there. But with an 11, that's not going to work in his favor. And Devok, you see the Calculator right next to you, the hag in the other room. What are you going to do?
I will stab the guy in front of me.
All right. That's a hit. And this does full damage because it's a magical weapon. So if you're using one hand, it's a d8 plus 3, I think, because it's a plus 2 damage plus your 1 from your strength. So it'd be a d8 plus 3.
Okay. So that's what I rolled.
Okay, yeah, you got. All right, so yeah, you stab it for 6 points of damage.
Okay, no.
Is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
All right. All right, Galen, you got the Cackler's all around you and the hag to the north. What are you going to do?
How does it disengage? Like,
It's
would I have to use my action?
it's an action, yes.
Hmm.
But
Well,
then
I'm gonna
you got your full
disengage.
movement if you do so.
Yeah, I'll disengage and move to here.
Fair enough. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, I guess so. Because I can't attack.
All right, Cackler 1. He is going to he's going to laugh hideously. Devok, go ahead and make a DC 11 Wisdom saving throw.
The DC 11 you said?
Yes,
What was the stat?
Wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Okay, you resist.
Easy.
Cackler 3 is going to step up, and he is going to cast. He's going to use his spike chain to attack Ire from 10 feet away. But with an 18, I'm pretty sure that misses, right?
Yep.
All right, Pico, you got the Cackler right next to you who tried to mess with your mind. What are you going to do? Or no, he tried to bite you. Sorry about that. But yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna go ahead and ready in action. Basically, once it's Ire's turn, I'm gonna go ahead and cast Hold Person on the crone.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, Oreo, you got all the Cacklers and then the crone in the northern room. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna rush into the room. I know I'm gonna provoke opportunity. Don't care at this point.
Okay.
Gonna go in here and grab the dagger and then attack it.
Okay.
I'm actually gonna use defensive duelist for the first time finally to avoid that attack.
Okay, fair enough. All right, go ahead and do your attack then.
Okay.
That hits.
Does she have advantage because we're flanking her?
She does. So go ahead and roll again just in case you could. All right. So solid 10 points of damage. Is that the end of your turn?
Nice.
A bonus action. I'm gonna. Yeah, I'll just use my claws again.
Okay. You still have advantage.
Okay.
'Cause she's flanked. Okay.
That's it.
All right. So it's the beginning of round 5. The Cackler was in the wrong range. I'm sorry. He actually should go before we're on round 5. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So he's going to use his chain attack against Ire. With the 24, I believe that hits.
It does.
And so it slashes across your front for doing 6 points of damage. And now we're on the next round. And Kala, what is she going to do? Yep, she is going to vanish. So everybody in that room can take your opportunity attack.
I can't because I already used it on defensive duelist. That's the
Fair enough.
caveat there.
Yep. So Raku, Ire, and Galen. So Ire, you miss.
Oh, do I get a flanking bonus or flanking?
Yeah, I guess you would. Yes, go ahead and roll again. All right, you missed. Go ahead, Raku and Galen. Raku, you hit with the crit. So
Na-
that looks like 11.
Yes.
Oh wait, was it a magical weapon?
No, it's not a magical weapon. I didn't cast Booming Blade because it was just a
Okay, so she
opportunity
only.
attack.
Okay, that's fine. I fixed it. And Galen.
Okay, this is on Kayla, right?
Yeah.
Can I cast a spell, or does it have to be a cantrip?
It has to be a cantrip or a normal attack.
Okay. Since I'm in combat, I have to use Shocking Grasp.
Yeah, you don't have to do it if you don't want, but go ahead.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna not hit her, you know?
Okay,
I missed.
fair enough. So yep, so she seems to have phased out.
Now, this was about the
And-
point I was originally planning to cast Hold Person on her. So what happens there?
Well, you said on Ire's turn. However, I guess it's almost Ire's turn, so you can go ahead and try. Yeah, go ahead.
Because yeah, I mean, I only picked Ire because I was specifically holding the Hold Person because yeah, on the end of each of the target's turns, it can make another Wisdom saving throw. So I was only just aiming at the beginning of Ire's turn just to establish like her turn's done.
Fair
But if
enough.
you-
Yeah, go ahead. So what does she have to roll?
She has to roll a Wisdom save versus. Jeez, where's my thing? I guess the spell save DC of 12.
Okay.
Not like that's going to be hard for her.
She makes it. Okay, so she is phased out now. Alrighty, so she has vanished, but you get the feeling that she's still around somewhere, and of course you still have the calculars. So Ire, what are you going to do?
I'll just come down here and hit calculator number 2.
Okay.
Actually, wait, scratch that. I want to come over here and hit number 1.
Number 1. All right. No, just is that the end of your turn?
Yeah.
All right, Raku, she is gone yet again, but the cacklers are still in the other room. What are you going to do? If you're talking, I can't hear you.
No, I am talking. I was just having a internal fight with how pissed off I am at the witch versus everybody else.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and Char's gonna fly over here and get up in the rafters of the corner or whatever to be however he's safe there after giving me help on 3, and I'm gonna swing away on 3
Sure. Go for it.
Booming Blado.
That's a critical hit. It's almost certainly going to kill him. It does.
Squish. And that is it.
Yep, that's it. As what are you going to do next?
Oh no, that's it because when I cast Booming Blade, I don't get my bonus
Oh, right,
action
right. Okay, fair enough.
because it's technically a spell, even though it has a melee attack involved.
Yep, fair enough. All right, Cackler 4 then is going to laugh at Pico hideously. So Pico, make a DC 11 Wisdom saving throw.
Who is that on?
The
Wow.
laughter claws at your mind,
Hmm.
and you find everything around you absolutely hilarious to the point where you can't control it. You fall to the ground. You lay on the ground. You are basically incapacitated, and you just laugh from your prone position. When it's your turn again, you can attempt to make another save. If you take any damage, then you can make another save on the spot, but you'll have advantage. All right, Davak, you hear Pico laughing uncontrollably. It sounds like it's actually hurting him. So what are you going to do?
No. I guess I'll just stand out again.
Okay. That's a hit. And you just finished it off. A red mist as you stab it to death. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
Okay. Just so you know, you can move. All right. Galen, the hag has vanished. And you hear Pico laughing from the south very loudly. What are you going to do?
Oh, we should probably kill the last thing. No, there's two of them. God damn it. We have no way of tracking her while she does this. All right. Did I manage to see a direction that she may have been moving when she phased out, or no, not at all? She just kind of disappeared.
Somewhere this way, maybe?
Oh, that way?
You get the
Okay.
impression that she can go through walls in that state.
Oh, okay. So I'll start moving this way then. And yeah, I'm gonna hit that one with a shocking grasp as well.
Okay.
Wow, I am just so many crit fails today.
Yeah, it dodges.
All right, that's my turn, I guess.
Fair enough. I'm pretty sure everybody's got learn by failure at max this session. So Pico, you are currently on the ground uncontrollably laughing. So you can make a DC 11 Wisdom saving throw to snap out of it. That's pretty much all you can do, actually. All right, you do so. You are currently prone. You basically used your action to snap out of the thing, but you still have your bonus action, and you can still move, although it'll cost half your movement to get up.
I guess I'll just stand here.
Are you going to stand up at least? Or are you going to stay prone?
That would be part of standing
okay.
here.
Fair enough. The reason why I ask is because if you're prone and somebody's in melee range, they get advantage, so it's definitely important. All right, Oreo. Pico has stopped laughing all of a sudden, and you know that there are more calculars in the room to the south. What are you going to do?
Yep, gonna go ahead and attack this one down here.
Okay.
I don't think that does, but.
No. So their AC is 15, so unfortunately it dodges.
Quick question. If somebody were to try and hand me a weapon, is that considered would that be counted as a bonus action or a free action?
If you're just pulling out a weapon that's readily available, that would be a free action.
I'm gonna look over to Ragu and ask if he's
wanna-
still gonna use that or not.
I want to toss her the other +1 ceremonial dagger.
Okay. Yeah, so you have the ceremonial dagger.
And that was
Now
a
you
plus
have-
1, 2, right?
Yes, it is. So you've got 2 +1 weapons.
Okay, so we'll use a regular dagger here, but I'm just gonna use the stats for it for now.
Okay.
And add the modifier for it.
Sure.
So
that hits.
So that plus.
Okay,
So
you kill it.
5 + 8.
Yep, it's dead. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
Okay, we're now at round 6. So, Pico. Suddenly, Kala appears out of nowhere and attacks you from behind, giving her advantage because of flanking as she tries to claw into you. With a 22, does that hit?
Yep, that hits.
Claws dig into you, ripping and doing 11 points of damage.
There's a lot.
All right, Ire, you can see that the hag has reappeared. Cackler 4 is still flanking Pico. What are you going to do?
Let's see. Where's the door?
It's underneath the Cacklers, but it's currently open.
Ooh.
You have to go through the cackler.
Yeah,
to
I'm
get
gonna
out the
run
door.
through them actually, and then hit the cackler.
Okay, or you can like jump through the window.
Yeah, that works.
All right,
Make
so you
it
jump
cool.
through the window. The glass breaks. You know, it's not very sturdy glass, and there you go. Go ahead.
All right.
That hits. 9 points of damage, leaving it with, you now know by that each of these have 10 hit points, so it has 1 hit point left. Is that the end of your turn?
Magic. Yeah.
All right, Ragu. Kala's on the other side of Pico, stabbing him. The Cackler is almost dead. What are you going to do?
All right. Char would be going first, but since I can't see with him anymore, I'm gonna have to move me first. 1, 2, 3. I jump out the window 2.
Okay.
Run right. All right. Char flew out the open broken window, flew down here to flutter in Kala's face, and then continued up this way out of range. I can't see past that corner, so
That's fine.
somewhere safe.
That's fine.
And that was 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 4 and 5 runs me over here with advantage.
I think it's going to get an opportunity attack. Well, no, you could go this way. So if you have enough movement to avoid that hex, then you're fine.
All right. Oh, wait a second. Let's see. 1, 2. 3, 4. No, actually, I am going to have to run through Ire space in order to get to Kala. So if that would be an opportunity attack, he burns it for me.
Yep. And a 19.
I will use my reaction to Arcane Deflection.
Okay. So you reach Kala. Go ahead.
All right. Booming Blade.
That. Oh wait, yeah, you have advantage.
Definitely hit.
Yep, yeah, that does it. Alright.
Whopping all of 5.
Yep, it does hurt her.
Hey,
though.
that bless, does it work for damage rolls as well as to hit rolls?
No, it's just attack rolls and saving rolls.
Oh, okay. All right, 5, and she's been booming bladed.
Okay. So that means if she moves, then she takes damage from that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Is that the end of your turn?
That is.
All right. The Cackler, being on the other side of Pico, is going to take advantage of his advantage to bite him. All right, 24. I think that hits, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you take another 6 points of damage as he rips into you. All right, Davok, you can see Cackler 4 ripping into Pico. What are you going to do?
Well, shit. I'll just kill it off. I'll just box.
Okay, that hits. And he gets destroyed. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah. No. Now it is.
Okay. All right, Galen. Kala's the only one left alive, although Pico is definitely hurt. What are you going to do?
Yeah. Wait, did she reappear?
Yes, she's on the other side of Pico.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Cool. All right, 1, 2. Okay, let's fucking end this. I am going to cast Inflict Wounds.
As a suggestion, if you are either here or
yes,
here,
thank you.
then
Thank
you get
you.
advantage.
Yes, I will go there.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Inflict wounds, please.
But you have advantage, so go ahead and roll again.
Roll again, yeah.
Okay, unfortunately, even with advantage,
No,
that-
no. Wait, I can fix this with something. Something has to
Got
help me.
favored.
Will that
I
help
don't
me?
know. Did you get the bless or no? But you still got favored.
what
Oh,
is-
miss with an attack roll. I can add 2d4. Okay, I will add 2d4 using
Okay,
favored
then
by
you
the
hit.
gods. Okay, and I'm gonna upcast it to level 2, and I might be using some sorcery points. How do I upcast it to level 2? How does that
When you
Click on it.
click on
When
it,
I
it should
click
allow you
on
to
it?
choose the level, does it not?
Oh, it does. That's kind of
Okay.
cool. Okay. All right, and then so actually I'm not going to use any sorcery points. That's pretty
So is
damn
that
good.
26 damage?
Yeah, +3.
Okay, so 29 damage. Wow, that's a really big hit. She's still alive,
Nice.
though, but it's a really big hit. Is that the end of your turn?
Actually, you can put back 3. I think I'm gonna. Should I spend a sorcery point to reroll that? Yeah, I'm gonna spend a sorcery point and reroll the 3d10, the one d10
Okay,
that rolled
yeah,
3.
go ahead.
So let me just remember to mark down my sorcery points.
Let's hope it's not worse.
Yeah, that would be really sad, but kind of my
No,
luck.
if it's worse, he gets to at least pick the 3, right?
You know what? It's fine. Whatever. 4, 4 is doable.
It is better, so that's fine.
30.
Yeah. All right. There we go. Finish her off, boys. Kill her.
All right, Pico. She's still alive, but she's almost dead. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna cast Hold Person.
Okay. So that would be what'd you say it was? Wisdom?
Yeah.
And 12. No damage. She does make it. Barely, but she does make it. Is that the end of your turn?
No, I'm gonna go climb on the roof of this place.
Okay. It's a fairly simple shack, so no problem. You can do so. All right, Oreo. She's almost dead, but she's still kicking, and you know that she's likely to either disappear or summon more demons. So what are you gonna do?
Can technically, because Pico is not in that spot, I can be on that spot,
That's
right?
right. Yes.
Attacking it.
Yep.
Kill. Kill.
2 magic daggers. Chop, chop.
And that's a hit.
Yes.
Okay. So you've done 16 damage, but she is not dead.
Kill.
I've got the other dagger, which will also be
That hits.
with.
Can you do
Yeah.
at least 2 points of damage? You
Yes.
can. She dies. As she dies, you hear her scream as this purple fire engulfs her. And you get
I
the,
do want to say at the very end, "Fuck you," pretty much.
Yeah.
you
Get
do
her.
so. And you can tell that whatever this transformation was, it caused her a lot of pain. And you suspect that they even tricked her. And so she dies a very, very painful death.
Yay.
Jeez.
And I'm going to take you out of combat.
I give back Ragu the dagger. Thank you very much.
Problem. I'm glad you could use it well.
Alrighty then. So now that she is dead, what do you do?
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and search the shack one more time. There's probably nothing of consequence in here.
So let's see. Yeah, you guys got the alchemy kit worth of stuff. You found the money in the room. You found the trapdoor. So yes, you guys have already cased the place.
Is there anything left out of the witch? I know you said that she just kind of like at least melted away or something, but is there anything left from her being that's left on the ground?
Actually, thanks for reminding me because
Yeah, I was
there's
gonna ask that
actually
too.
2 things left. The first thing is a lustrous black gem lies on the ground that is broken into several pieces. The second thing you find is a sack that seems to be made out of human skin, stitched together.
Lovely.
And Devok, being your knowledge in necromancy, you actually know what it is. It's a soul bag. It's basically one of the souls that she collects. She's kept for herself, but she not only did she keep the soul, but she corrupted it, turning it into an evil soul. It seemed to grant her some sort of power. Currently, it is still trapped, but unfortunately, since she is the creator of it, nobody else can use it.
They figure out how to make it from this?
Can you figure out how
Like
to make it?
or something?
Perhaps. Although perverting souls like this would definitely be considered by most people, probably even your own, a very vile and evil act.
That's fair. I don't know what I would
Unfortunately,
do.
that is all you find. Everything else burned away.
Okay.
Alrighty. So
Well, a bit of a history lesson here for everybody. I suggest we all stand back while I go ahead and reenact what the Azar invasion of 600 looked like. And
Run away.
basically, with us set a safe distance. Well, actually, no, I'm going to start from inside. I'm going to go ahead and just start producing flame left and right. I'm going to turn this place into a blazing inferno.
and
Those.
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say those black crystals, or the black crystal that was broken down
Yeah.
there. Can I investigate that?
You can investigate it away from the house. Just take it with you
Alright.
and leave.
All right. So
Yeah,
take some.
you can tell it once held a spell, but it was somehow linked to the witch, who once she died, it broke, releasing the spell.
Alrighty.
Anyway, as far as Pico goes, you definitely set the place on fire, and you're not sure if it's because the witch has, or something else has some sort of magic on it, but it goes up like a Simpson fire. It just burns, and practically within seconds, it's smoldering ash.
And the Tsar Empire did that to anybody, regardless of how uninvolved they were in the fighting.
They did not like much. They did not much like it when it happened to their own camp. So
That is certainly true. Although I certainly feel like I just survived that attack. Although it's funny looking, I don't see much blood. There's a little bit there. But boy, do I hurt.
Yep.
At least you didn't die. I say that as I'm walking away.
That's true,
Oh.
but there are also advantages to the situation. So
She's gone.
Alrighty, so I'm gonna take you, I guess, back to the city map, unless you wanted to go somewhere else.
on
I
our way.
do-
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Just
you
a
do.
quick question for the rest of the team, because I just did a quick math of the actual gold that was collected. If people are interested, people can put 22 in their pockets. If they're not interested, let me know. I'm gonna hold the rest. Does
I'll
anybody
take
want their
22.
portion? Okay.
I'll take my share. I don't mind.
And what about the rest of you guys?
Mhm.
you can hold on to mine.
Yes.
Okay. Same for everybody else?
I'll take mine, but everybody else, I don't know.
Devok, are you taking yours? If you're talking, I can't hear you.
Sure.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Okay. So add 22, and then Galen. I don't know if you care for it or not, but do you want it?
I'm probably good.
Okay.
Now, those people turning down money, one thing they should keep in mind that even if you don't care about material wealth, it does buy equipment and whatnot.
It's true, but
And
I
it
have a
also
decent
pays for
amount
your
of
housing.
material wealth. I already have like 7 platinum on me. I don't really need any extra gold.
Okay. Fair enough. So, do you head back to the city, or are you going somewhere else?
Well, Jared asked how he could contact us. Did he tell us how we could contact him?
He did not. Although he did seem to indicate he would contact you in about a month or so.
All right. Well, would we be coming in the south gate?
Yes. Unless you specifically go around and try to get to another gate.
South gate's fine.
Okay, so you enter through the south gate.
On the way in, I'm going to let them know that, hey, there was this crone that was apparently luring unsuspecting travelers directly into the Ankegs. She's no longer a problem.
He looks at you, she's like, what? Do you know what her name was?
Kala, I think.
Hala.
Well,
Oh,
we
you mean the
technically
one?
never
Oh, I
learned
think
that.
I've heard of her. You mean she? Then all of a sudden realization dawns on his face, and he says, "I need to talk to people. Thank you for the information." And then he hands you 10 silver, and then walks away.
Alrighty then.
Okay, so you're now at the gate. So where are you going to go from there?
Well, I guess we can. Well, actually, the Nexus Guild will probably be very interested to know about the cultists. So, how about a stop there?
Okay. All right, you show up at the guild, and this time I can actually add other players there. So Galen and Ire, you're actually there this time. And as you show up, you go to the door, and then Pico, Elru taps you on the shoulder from nowhere and says, "Yeah, I saw you guys coming. What do you guys need?"
Well, we have a little bit of information that might be slightly useful or of interest. Plus, we need to leave a message behind for anybody who might be contacting us sometime within the next month.
Oh, okay. Well, apparently Carl is wanting to speak to you as well. So come on in. Come on. So she takes you inside, bouncing along, and then you see Carl behind his desk. And he looks up and he says, "Oh, good. Well, I am assuming you're here for a reason, but before you get to that, we unfortunately are going to have to delay the expedition by a week. We, it looks, if you need any training, it looks like perhaps your skills may need more further training. We can spend the next week doing that, and we're pretty sure following that we'll be ready to go. Now, what do you have to speak to me about?"
Well, we found out about some cultists in a nearby, well, in some little hidden alcove off a nearby mine. Basically doing some sort of summoning ritual. Well, not summoning, some sort of ritual. And apparently they are kind of working towards hastening the end of the world.
Oh, lovely. I gotta love death cults. All right, or doomsday cults. What do you know what they're called, or do you know anything about them?
Oh, geez, I'm drawing a blank on the name.
They were the great cultists, but did John
What's his
actually
face
give
tell
us
us
a
the
name?
name?
Yeah, Jared told you that they were the Great Cult, and then he explained what they were about.
He called them the Doomsday Cult.
No, he said
That's
he
what I
called it
heard.
the Grey Cult, but he
But they
explained
were
that
a
they're
doomsday
a doomsday cult. All right, so you tell him that.
Yeah, and I guess also tell them about Kala and her efforts to collect souls by luring people to their doom at the Ankegs.
He listens, and it's like, wow. Well, I'm glad you took care of her, or it, whatever it was. And this cult, that does sound rather concerning. We know something of the Grey Cult. Unfortunately, they are more prevalent than just around here. And in fact, until now, we did not know they were trying to infest the city. And of course, that means that they have backers and people in the city are involved. When does it ever end? Um, well, we can look into that. In the meantime, we should be preparing for the expedition. And if we have more information by the time you return, we'll be sure to get you involved.
Now, we did stumble across a group of people working against the cultists. In fact, we had to rescue some of their number. They suggested they may contact us later if they learn anything else. So if they arrive looking for us, I'd appreciate if they were notified that the crone that they were worried about is no longer tormenting people.
Okay. Do you have a name associated with these people, or at least a person?
There was somebody named Jared. That's about all I know of him.
I see, Jared. Jared. That sounds familiar, but I can't quite place it. Well, I will definitely keep that in mind. And if they are allies against the Grey Cult, then they are potentially allies to us as well.
Oh, and it turns out that that group was also being misled by the Tabaxi imposters that we recently dealt with.
Oh, of course. Well, that problem is in the process of being solved, at least as much as we can solve it. The Tabaxi are being arrested as we speak, and I'm not sure what the city lord will do with them, but they will be imprisoned until we figure out the next best diplomatic course is. But they will not be allowed to stay within the city.
Well, it would probably be wise to send notice to our clan, making them aware that imposters have been.
I believe that has already been done, or at least is in the process of being done. We are reaching out to the other clans that we've had contact with for guidance as far as where to go with this situation. But that shouldn't concern you, fortunately. You've already done enough. And in fact, he gets, digs in the drawer and he pulls out a sack or coins and he hands each person 5 gold pieces. And he says, "This is personal from me for all the work that you have been doing, even though you weren't requested to do so." So each person gets 5 gold pieces.
Thank you.
Well, then I would suggest that you spend your last couple of days getting everything in order, and then starting on Merrick Day, we'll start on your training for a week. Unless anybody has any other suggestions or objections.
Sounds good to me.
Okay then. Well, have a good day, and Pico, get yourself healed.
Yeah, loser. Actually, I should just heal you right now.
I'm sure I'll get over this. Actually, how does long rest work
And
for
it's-
healing?
Once you take a long rest, you get everything back. All your exhaustion, your hit points, your spell slots, all that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, save the equipment for the expedition.
Sure.
Besides, I mean, yeah, look at it. It's not even much more than paper cuts.
That's
And
an
no,
interesting opinion.
Sarcasm. That's actually one of the traits. It's that my character barely bleeds.
Fair enough.
So yeah, I probably look pretty scratched up, but not necessarily super bloody.
That's fair. Alrighty. All right. So I think as you guys leave, what I'm gonna go ahead and do is get the experience points together because I think this is probably a good stopping point. So we'll get the experience, and then I think we'll go ahead and call the session. So let me get that together real quick. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm pretty sure everybody got all the failures that they can stomach.
Yep.
All right, so there you go. Everybody gets 800 experience points. And keep in mind that if you missed last session, you got 550 from that session as well. You got 300 for encounters, 200 for goals, things like dealing with the witch and the caves and rescuing those people. 200 from exploration and 100 for treasure. So, if I'm not mistaken, this should be enough for everybody to level. Is that correct?
Let me check.
What is
Yeah,
the
total's
XP for that exam?
6,500, and Ire, who's the lowest, is at 6,933.
All right. Okay, so